Hopefully you get that.
So, Jess, do we want to be on Monday? Sometime Monday?
Yeah, let's just find a good time for
I go to physical therapy Monday and Wednesday, so I could do a late morning Monday. Or mid-morning.
10? Oh.
Okay, I can follow up with you, John.
Okay, thank you.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Let's bring it up. Yeah, it's down at the bottom.
Oh.
Oh, there. Yeah. Thanks, Jillian.
Yeah, it was confusing the other day.
Recording in progress.
Well, welcome to the Scio Township Board of Trustees meeting, April 14th, I almost said the 9th, 6 p.m. Let's call this meeting to order. Well, is it 6? Exactly
6:01.
6:01. Clerk Flintoff, please call the roll.
Carrie?
Here.
Gable?
Present.
Flintoff, here. Grant? Here. Noel? Here. Reed? Here. Riser?
Here.
Also present, Office Manager Christy Aiken and Township Attorney Mariah Fink.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I just want to correct the title. I inadvertently, I did not say Christy's correct title. It is Operations Manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, adoption of the agenda. Are there any suggested changes? And, okay, I guess we'll start at the left here. Trustee Noel.
Okay, I would like to table item O2 and have it be on the agenda at our next meeting in 2 weeks.
O2.
Yes,
Until April 28th.
yes.
Okay.
I'll support that.
Anything else?
Just one update for the FOIA appeals. We did receive one appeal at 3:10 today.
And so that is
So
under...
it's already on consent, so whenever they come in,
Okay.
the board's already received it.
All right. Clerk Flintoff, do you have anything?
Nope.
All right, I would like to pull K3, approve the service contract and invoice for Dexter Senior Center. K6, resolution to request appropriation and expenditure of DDA return funds to the Dexter Senior Center. K7, resolution to request appropriation and expenditure of DDA return funds, transit. And also K16, authorization of 2.5% market increase to salary ranges effective pay period beginning April 18, 2026.
Pull it off the agenda? Pull these off the agenda?
No, pull them from consent to wherever, I guess under new business.
07, et cetera.
Well, it would still be K3, K6, K7, K16.
Okay, in place after 06?
Yes. Well, actually, if we could,
I believe
K6.
K16 involves staff.
well, in K6, we have our Anna here. Not she's not. You're not our Anna, but from Dexter Senior Center. So or K3. Let's because K6 is a different discussion. So let's do K3 first. K16, then K6, and K7, then K7.
So K3, K16, K6, and K7, those go under new business.
After 06? Is that what you're
Correct.
proposing? Which is a closed session?
Oh,
That was my
I just
question.
wanted to
well, yeah, I
clarify.
wish in the agenda, if we, possible action, consideration, and purchase, if we could just label that as closed session or potential closed session as well.
Okay.
But anyways, yes, before 06.
So between 05 and 06?
Yes, between 05 and 06. And let's see. That's it for me.
I move the agenda unless there are any more tweaks, adjustments. Support.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is adopted as amended. Thank you. Just as a friendly reminder, please, everybody, your phones should only be for emergency. Please do not text or use it for whatever reason during the meeting, according to our rules of order. And also, when it comes to topics, let's keep it to a short period of time, say what you need to say, move on, and then we'll have one more chance for anything new to add. This way we can keep the meeting at hopefully a shorter time period. Okay. Declaration of conflict, anyone? Nope. All right, correspondence is received, and we have a...
Did we vote on the approval of the agenda?
We did.
Okay, sorry. I missed it.
The correspondences, we have a small book, quite a few, and thank you everyone who did submit correspondences to let us know what your thoughts. Are there any comments on the correspondence? Okay. Now is the time for public comment. This is the time for members of the public to speak to the Board of Trustees for up to 5 minutes on any matter, and we generally begin with anybody present. So if you would like to speak, come up to the table and speak into the microphone, please. Oh, Christy?
Yes?
Is that the new microphone?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I turned it on for what it's worth, you know. But I did order a new wireless tabletop.
Good evening. My name is Tom Auth. My wife and I have been Scio Township residents for over 33 years. I'm also Scio Township delegate to the Washtenaw Regional Resource Management Authority, position I've held since WARMA's inception. Mark Perry is Scio's alternate delegate. WARMA is primarily involved with trash and recycling and twice has attempted unsuccessfully to conclude an RFP for regional trash hauling and recycling. My involvement with the RFP process with WARMA leads to the obvious conclusion that RFPs for trash recycling can be complicated and involves a step-by-step process over a relatively long period of time. When Scio Township extended its contract with Priority Waste last year, it was my understanding that the Board of Trustees' intention was to issue an RFP for trash and recycling for a contract to go into effect in November 2027, or shortly there. In discussions with Mr. Yapel last year, Mr. Yapel proposed a schedule for an RFP. And Mr. Perry and I discussed it in some detail, and based on our experience with WARMA's 2 RFPs, proposed a more detailed schedule. This was in November last year. I've requested on a number of occasions over the following 5 months that the RFP be brought up for discussion with the Board of Trustees, and it has not been. Most recently, I've been advised that the proposed RFP schedule would be placed on today's agenda, but it is not. If this Board of Trustees wants to complete a trash recycling contract before the expiration of the current contract, it's going to have to do something. If no RFP is intended to be issued, you need to let the residents know why and what you're going to do instead. my discussions with Ms. Fink as recently as this morning lead me to believe that she thinks that if we follow the Pittsfield Township RFP schedule, it can be done within a reasonable period of time. But the way things are going, there's been no movement whatsoever. And I think it needs to be done. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Anyone else present would like to speak? Come up to the table, please.
Hello, my name is Miriam Hitchcock. I live in Ann Arbor, but I work at 77 Enterprise Drive here in Scio, and I spend a lot of time in Scio Township. I wanted to speak in favor of agenda item K7 for appropriating funds for the bus 30 route. This route has been really useful to me. It doesn't go quite far enough into the township for me to commute to work, but I've used it a lot to go to IHA and actually Enterprise Rent-A-Car, ironically. And I know other people rely on it just to get groceries. So I'd like to thank Mr. Yapel for bringing it forward, and I hope that you will pass it in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And what was your first name?
Miriam.
Miriam, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No, I guess so.
Good evening, Renee Klubeck, Scio Township President. I'm glad to be here today. Oftentimes, everything tends to get on a downhill slope in public comments, and I want to get something I think is appropriate for the first comment made this evening, and also to give a compliment to a staff member. We are continuing to work with priority trash transitions. We don't use them as a customer. When they first made a transfer, there was a problem for us on billing just because we lived on the street where everybody else got it. That compliment that I want to give is, if anyone saw on Channel 4, Priority is dealing with the same problem in Dixboro, which I believe is Superior Township, I'm not sure on that. And they had the exact same incident. They were billing a person who lived on the street, who other people had the service, and the bill was up to almost $600 for an older retired gentleman, and they contacted their township board with no support. They finally went to Channel 4, and they got it resolved. What I want to say is that two things. One, we need to be careful still with priority trash. They are having problems all over Michigan, and it's something to be aware of, I think, as you're looking at contracting. Second thing is to give a compliment to our operations manager, that when we had that issue, she was the person who solved the problem directly with a contact through Priority. And I'd like to compliment Christy Aiken as doing a great job for us at that time. And just to show that if we all keep working at things, can make it happen. But I'm saying red flags with Priority should be considered. They're having problems all over the state. So I thought I'd say thank you, Christy, and just let you all know it's not changing with Priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Renee.
Thanks, Renee.
Rob Pattinson, Scio Township resident. Laura Kretz has given you a document tonight in the report section to give you a starting point for the PUD public benefits discussion. Please take advantage of this boost to get you started. Kathy and Christy, thank you very much for helping with this too. Christy, I received your letter letting me know the township will no longer send me Zoom links. You also say that this will allow residents to get information from a consistent source. As I'm sure you know, the Zoom links you sent me were used to upload committee meetings to YouTube. Over the last 6 years, those links represent 729 videos, and as of Sunday, we've had 50,117 views. So thank you, Christy and Fran, for all the years of good-natured help and friendship. Jessica, I realize that I am no longer a convenient tool for you to use and have asked you some uncomfortable and awkward questions. And I realize that is why you had Christy send me the letter. Fortunately, I have been working with a software engineer for the last several months since the change to the Scio encoder stopped my ability to download videos without needing Zoom links from Christy and Fran. I now have the software needed to capture the Granicus videos from the Scio website and will continue to upload them to YouTube as I've done for the last 6 years. So you had an investigation into Andrea for a typo. Where is the investigation into Kathleen for her blow-up at OHM? Where is the investigation into Ryan for boasting he had the votes to fire Nikki a month ago? At the last board meeting during my public comments, Mary Gillis hissed at me, and when I told Jessica she was failing miserably in fulfilling FOIAs. Then she and others coughed persistently during Carolyn's public comments. So where is the investigation into Mary Gillis as a Scio employee interfering with public comments? 10 people have quit. How does that compare to the standard of excellence you were praised for? You were also told it's not your job to make people happy. You know what is your job? Is to not make people miserable enough to quit. Barb was an outstanding deputy clerk who did a lot of good for Scio. She offered to stay until November elections to help with the most important duty of the clerk's office. Why did you refuse that offer? Thank you, Barb, for all you did for us. Every time I had contact with you, you were always very professional, helpful, and pleasant. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, for putting O2 on the agenda. Mike is supremely qualified to fill in as interim utilities director, and with 31 years experience and 7 months of service to Scio already in place, he is a very strong candidate for permanent utilities director. Kathy, why couldn't you get salary information from Aurora? K14, as I remember it, you budgeted $25,000 for security cameras. This quote is for $47,000. Why did it take a year after the letter under the door event to get cameras installed in Township Hall? K6 and K7, Ryan, I appreciate the effort to offer a Band-Aid solution to the underfunded transit millage, but this is really just a Band-Aid. Next year there is still going to be a shortfall, and this is the exact thing we said the DDA could contribute last summer when the board decided to dissolve the DDA. Item N1, employee anonymity is still not guaranteed. Former employees need to be interviewed, not submit written comments if, quote unquote, if asked by the investigator. It will be more expensive to get a management consultant later to suggest solutions, but at this point the cost is irrelevant compared to the damage being done. Was this proposal put out to bid? Did any other firms put in a bid other than Clark Hill? On item 05, there are 2 candidates for operations director. Nathaniel is the stronger candidate, but I doubt you will offer him the job. Christina is a good candidate, but I suspect you think she will be easier to manipulate. The most important qualities the operations director will need to have is independence, immunity from manipulation, and strong leadership skills. Jessica, you included me in your response to Jonathan's FOIA yesterday. In it, you deny his FOIA because it doesn't match the exact words you used to label the records. How is he supposed to know the exact words you use? You're being intentionally obstructionist to his FOIAs. And how is it you don't know how much we're being charged for FOIA work? Kathleen, you said you think residents should sue the township like you did over FOIAs. You're in a position now to make FOIA process more honest and transparent than it was when you sued. So you refuse to do that. You suggest the township get sued when you have the power to make a difference. Is that part of your fiscally responsible philosophy?
Oh, Rob.
Across the township?
Excuse me, Mr. Pattinson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Anyone else?
Thanks, Rob.
Present?
Thanks, Rob.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Doug Ziesmer. I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club,
Hi.
as well as a commercial real estate broker. I just wanted to bring to the board's attention that our Kiwanis Club has been in contact with different people at the township ever since we moved out here 11 and a half years ago regarding the 2 properties that are coming up under new business tonight. Mm-hmm. And we basically have expressed an interest in those, and we're told by different township people that they would come back to us and we never really connected. As far as the property, the larger piece, the township bought for the possible purpose of a sanitary waste facility, we were in contact with Jack Knowles, the previous supervisor, in that regard, and we've got a number of possible development concepts for that property. Again, we haven't really brought those out into the public, but we've had conversations. We have a plan of a possible low-income senior housing project for that property. Quite a bit of that parcel has wetlands on it as well, so you'll have to keep that in mind too. But I just want to bring to the attention that our Kiwanis Club is interested in both of the parcels in any way that works for the township. The other thing I wanted to bring up is the condition of North Stabler Road is really bad. And pavement, basically, the asphalt's getting to the point where it's just to a crumbling condition. And we talked to the county has no money available for that possible project, as well as apparently the township does not either. So I don't really know what the options are, but the road surface is really bad. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we have probably 1,200 cars that pass over that road, our customers coming to our thrift sale. And we just would like to see some kind of a forward plan on how to deal with road replacement or major road repairs. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Anyone else present?
Hi, I'm Melissa Linnick, and I live at Touchstone Co-Housing. I just wanted to say thank you to Treasurer Yapel for the work that he's doing on recapturing the funds from Washtenaw County. I think that money was intended originally to improve the Jackson Corridor, and the bus service on Jackson Corridor is an improvement of that. So in a way, it was kind of like, it's kind of related, I guess, is what I'm saying. So I really appreciate the work that he is doing to recapture the funds, and I hope the board will support him in that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hey, Anna.
Anna Peckrell, Executive Director of Dexter Senior Center. And I just want to touch on the items that the center has mentioned on the agenda today. When I was first emailed by Ryan about the possibility of DDA funds being redirected to Dexter Senior Center, well, I had first heard about it when I presented back in March. It was just an idea. And then when he approached me about it again, it took me a day to really respond, because I was really just thinking about what that would mean for the center at this time, in this really exceptional growth phase that we're in, what an additional or unexpected contribution of that size would mean for us and what we could do with that funding. And after I had thought about it a little bit, I asked to meet with Ryan so I could really understand what this process looked like, what the likelihood of this type of event taking place, really, because I had never heard of something like this. This is outside of my scope of knowledge. And so after doing some research, really thinking about how this funding could be used, I have a lot of ideas. The center is growing so quickly. We're now well over 1,000 members and are getting new members every single day. Truthfully, the growth has outpaced our organizational capacity at this moment. And a lot of my time as executive director, I'm really trying to wear too many hats at this moment. And so a lot of my time is spent on daily operations, just day-to-day work, where my time could potentially be better spent on development and attempting to make this center that's growing so quickly truly sustainable. So something that I haven't mentioned to any of you is for the last 5 months I've been attending CFRM fundraising courses. It's through the Lilly School of Philanthropy from Indiana University.
And really that has opened my eyes to the world of fundraising and all of the things that we could be doing if we had the capacity to do them. And so funding from the DDA, or funding that would be redirected to us from the DDA funds, would allow me to focus more on development because I could have my current staff work more hours. I could hire additional staff. And I know that one-time funding to support staff is not always a great look optics-wise, but if the purpose is to allow me to work on planned giving, to work on different fundraising techniques within the community, to work on improving my grant writing abilities or any aspect of fundraising, I believe that I could make those positions that are hired or expanded sustainable through that effort. So I see this, if it were to pass this board and then, of course, be approved by Washtenaw County, that it would be short-term funding that would really create long-term sustainability for the senior center. And I am very grateful to Ryan and to any of you that were, part of this process and getting this on the agenda, just thinking creatively about how you can serve seniors in your community. And I unfortunately won't be able to stay all the way through new business tonight, but I'm really looking forward to hearing how the conversation goes. And as always, I'm always available for any questions you have, or if there are particular projects, if this funding were to come about that you'd like to see us work on, I'm always open to hearing that and working with you. So thank you very much, and looking forward to hearing how it goes.
Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Hi, Carol Fletcher, Scio resident. I'm encouraged to see N1 on the agenda, but it makes me a little nervous that it's tentative action. Folks, this sore continues to fester. We need action, and we need action without restrictions. It's the only way you will get an accurate picture of what's happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Anyone else present would like to speak for public comments? No? Okay, Christy? Anyone online?
Oh, let's see. Okay, first up is Pam. Go ahead, Pam. Pam? I'm louder to speak, so I'm not sure.
Can they hear us?
There she goes. Okay. Go ahead, Pam.
What's wrong with the screen?
Oh.
Okay. I don't know. I'm going to move on to Pam. Will come back to you. Next up is Jonathan Greenberg. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. On April 3rd, Scio News submitted 2 FOIA requests asking a simple question. How much is the township paying Fink and Fink to process FOIA requests? These are basic financial records, invoices, payment records, billing statements, the kind of documents any township should be able to produce in an afternoon. On April 7th, our attorney, Charles Cadeto, sent the board a formal demand letter documenting violations across 17 prior FOIA requests and more than 10 appeals. That letter gave the township until May 1st to comply. 6 days later, yesterday, April 13th, Clerk Flintoff responded to our 2 requests issued on April 3rd. Today, Mr. Cadeto had to file a 4-page appeal identifying 5 separate grounds on which those responses failed to comply with the act. I want to highlight 3 of those things for this board. First, the clerk denied that billing statements and payment records exist. In the same response, she described the township's journals and ledgers that track Fink and Fink's costs across funds and departments. You can't say you track payments and also say no payment records exist. Those are the same records. Second, the clerk cited attorney-client privilege under MCL 152531G as the basis for denying all communications about the cost and scope of Fink and Fink's FOIA work. That statute does not exist. The correct citation is MCL 152431G. This error appears in both responses. The person administrating your FOIA processes cited a law that isn't real. Third, none of this had to happen. The demand letter told you what the problems were. The clerk's April 13th responses repeated every one of those problems. You have the ability tonight or at your next meeting to direct the clerk to produce these records within the statutory timeframe. I'm asking you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Well, there's two Pams.
Okay.
There's Pam Guest and Pam Boyd Guest. So we'll try Pam Guest again. Let's see how that works. All right. Let's try Pam Boyd Guest. Go ahead, Pam Boyd.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Ryan, K6 and K7. Is the board now experiencing unintended consequences of disbanding the DDA? Hopefully, the county will take pity on this board to return to Scio some of its DDA funds. But is it a sure thing? As much as I am very much in support of giving the Dexter Senior Center funds, they're not located in the DDA, and therefore I would assume that they are not, going to be getting funds from DDA money. Will this hinder your efforts? The stronger possibility will be DDA funds returned for Bus 30 needs because Bus 30 runs in the DDA area. The disbanding of the DDA was a failure by some on this board. You who voted for that are now known far and wide in Michigan. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Anyone else, Christy?
I see no hands raised.
Okay. Well, thank you. Board member response. Let's start down at the right, please. Trustee Reed, do you have any response to the public comments? No. Trustee Brandt?
I'll let you know if I did.
Well, here's your chance.
That was negative, Julie.
Okay, and Trustee Reiser?
No, thank you.
Treasurer Yeaple?
Thank you. Just a couple. Thank you, everyone, for speaking up in support of K6 and 7. Hopefully, we can discuss them here in a little bit, pass those items. Responding to Mr. Oth's comments, I had published an agenda item for an RFP timeline for the Board of Trustees to discuss tonight. Supervisor Carey asked me to remove it. I did so. Thank you to Operations Manager Christie for her support of our residents. Regarding North Stable Road, I would ask maybe it's something the Roads Advisory Committee could look at to see if it could be planned for as part of their effort they'll be presenting to us at our next meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping, I look forward to the discussion on K6 and K7. There seems to be continued misunderstanding. The resolutions that Ryan presented lay it out, but the money, the advocacy to the county is for the returned funding. So we are just being good advocates by passing these resolutions to the local units. They don't have the restrictions that the DDA had. So that is why the DDA money was stuck and unable to be spent, because it had met its purpose and could no longer be spent. So it's really to no longer capture voter past millages for the older person millage, public safety millage, conservation, roads, all the millages we pay, those are the ones going back to the county. So I just want to clarify that. And also just ask maybe in reports, if we could just take a couple minutes to talk about the waste hauling RFP, and at least decide when we're going to either have a substantive session on it or maybe a special meeting on it. Thank you.
Trustee Knoll.
Yes, I would like to respond to Rob. I had requested the salary recommendation range for an interim utility director from Aurora shortly after our last board meeting. It was quite a while ago. When I checked with her last week, before the packet items were due, I got an email from her stating she did not support Mike for appointment to the interim position. I was surprised because I had not asked her for an opinion on whether we should hire Mike as an interim utilities director, because that is the board policy decision. I had asked for information on a proposed salary range. This was never provided. This type of willful withholding of information that I had requested could be viewed as insubordination. Today, there was a flurry of back and forth activity from other board members, and I was asked why Mike Blackburn hadn't applied for the regular utility director position. And the posting is still open. I believe it's open until the 17th. As I reflected on this, I was surprised that I got this type of question, because I thought when a position is posted, the identity of the applicants is kept confidential until the posting period lapses. And I could be wrong on that. But I actually, Mariah, isn't that the case? Do you know? Okay, very well, that's fine. I just want to say I was unhappy with the way my request was handled, and then the flurry of activity that occurred today surrounding this agenda item, and it will all be addressed in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, so my response to public comments. Yeah, Tom Auth, thank you for your comments and the emails and whatnot. And yes, the trash RFP was placed on the agenda. And as everybody knows, the supervisor inherited the trash fiasco and by ordinance. So it's all under me, and that's not part of my, statutory duty. So I get to it when I get to it, and the number one thing is the many complaints we receive from residents regarding priority waste, and that's my number one. I am working with Mariah regarding a lot of different ideas for trash, policies, and whatnot, and I really would like this board, when you have something that you want to discuss or whatnot that falls under the supervisor, please have a conversation with me before you place something on an agenda. This is not the first time this has happened, and then I have to go back and scramble. I mean, even there was an agenda that was published without even me knowing it in a different committee, and I had to go back to the committee members and say, wait, that's not ready. I did not publish that. So I appreciate a little respect. This is a lot of work. And I feel for every resident that has had issues with priority waste. We are dealing with a ton of billing issues. So this will be coming to the board shortly. We do have time for this trash RFP. In fact, last night when I was at the state of the county meeting, I ran into Trish Riley, who is the supervisor of Pittsfield Township, and they have a new RFP, and they're still dealing with the issues from Priority Waste. They have 14,000 trash bins that are sitting out there that Priority has not picked up, while we have residents that are waiting 6 months for a cart. Doesn't make sense. All right, so thank you for your patience regarding all of this. Let's see. Oh, regarding Granicus links, I heard you can submit a FOIA request for an ongoing subscription. It states it right in the FOIA request form, and I don't see why that wouldn't fall under a subscription. Condition of North Stabler Road, yes, we are very well aware of North Stabler Road. It is not on the list for this year to be improved because that's paving, and we right now don't have dedicated funding. So in 2 weeks, the Road Advisory Committee will be in front of this board with a presentation for hopefully that we will have approval to request of the voters for a millage. And there's other ideas. We are going to present all of that. I am the chair of the Road Advisory Committee. We work very closely with WCRC, but as we know, WCRC owns all the roads, but in order for them to do any work, they have to partner by Public Act 51 with the township, or the municipality, I should say. Let's see, there was something else here. Oh, maybe not. Condition of the road, Granicus. No, that wasn't it. The priority waste. Oh, yes, somebody said something about a priority waste bill and they've never had priority waste. I figured out the issue because I do not have garbage service either. And it dawned on me as I was talking to residents that were getting bills or late fees for not receiving bills that, and on there it said, or new, or was it present customer or something like that. Didn't say the person's name. So I called Priority Waste and asked them. I said, new service or service units or whatever, customer service units. And I asked them if they had an account on my property, and they sure did. And I said, I had better not have a bill, better not have any late fees or anything on there. And they said, no. And I said, please remove my address from your system. So this is what they're doing. And I don't like this. You should not, it's like you have Comcast. You order Comcast, it's in your name. Then later on you remove Comcast from, you don't want it anymore or whatever, and somebody else at your parcel wants that Comcast. They set it up in their name. You don't just, oh, they have Comcast, so we're gonna bill the next people even if they didn't have an account. So this is what we're dealing with priority. It's a lot of work. So I wanted to clear some things up about that. And then other comments will be later when we have the different topics that we get to. So thank you. All right, so let's move on to approval of the minutes. Any suggested changes or a motion to approve?
I'll move the minutes as submitted.
Is there a second?
Support by Rising.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes are approved for March 10th. Consent agenda. So from consent agenda, we removed K3, K6, K7, and K16. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended? Support? Did you hear that? Yep. All in favor of adopting the consent agenda as amended, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the consent agenda has been approved. Did you get, unanimous, of course. All right, so regular reports and special reports. L1. Well, Supervisor, I've already touched on this a little bit. I did attend, there's two things that I've attended. So the state of the county address last night. Washtenaw County is 200 years old this year. That's pretty exciting. It was a nice program. It was short, and they had some history, which was really interesting. I hope that was recorded and will be out for the public to watch. I suggest that you watch it. It's only an hour long. Also, last week, Trustee Knoll and I attended the EPA Superfund, what was it called, Kathy? Site team introduction and the next steps. I have asked Mary Gillis, she runs our website or works on our website. I asked her to upload a couple of these documents, and it will help the residents and area understand the process. Trustee Knoll, do you have anything to add to that?
No, but I can add that I've done an article for the newsletter on a Gelman update. So the meeting and the new information that we have at this time. So it'll be in the next newsletter. Mary's got it right now.
And it was really refreshing to see a group of people from the feds, the state, the county, municipalities really work together to get this far. It took 10 years just to get the municipalities that are impacted to come together to agree to move forward with the Superfund site, and now we're on the national priority list. So this is exciting for our community to have this hopefully cleaned up.
Kudos to Kathy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy. Treasurer Yapel.
Thank you. So as Anna mentioned, I met with her last week about one of the agenda items we'll be discussing shortly. I've also been working on addressing a number of residents' questions and had someone come in today to try and pay their taxes that they paid in December. So that was pleasant. I guess, going back to Clerk Flintoff's question, I guess I had a couple questions from my side during reports. Certainly appreciate you sharing everything about the RFP process and working with the township attorney. Is there maybe a date we want to set sometime in the future, either as a special meeting or just something that we could have on the calendar to sort of bring this back up?
Well, Mariah and I are trying to figure out a date for us to meet and go over the Pittsfield RFP so we have more of an understanding together.
Okay.
You already have the understanding, but.
Yeah, it's an excellent template. It doesn't match completely what we need, but it's a really good template, and they were successful in using it. They had 4 companies bid on the contract, so we're not starting from scratch.
It's a good thing. So we can set something up in the next couple of weeks. You're available?
Yep.
Okay. And then we'll bring it back.
So maybe like first meeting of May, or
June. First meeting in June?
Yeah, that was June.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You can put
And
that as
there's
a
other
target.
things that we're going through.
Okay, thank you.
And what is our first meeting in June? Is that June 10th?
Can tell you. Give me a minute here. June 9th.
Oh, I was close. Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
Nope, thank you.
Clerk Flintoff, you're next.
Sure.
Well, I made it to the Spark event today, as promised. It was good. Interesting presentation on AI and how it can help with planning and zoning compliance. Also, working with the finance team and Plant Moran and the treasurer's team on year-end and audit prep. We've started our weekly meetings then. We'll have field work the first 2 weeks of June and have it before the board by August. Also working with the treasurer and team on a couple policies we hope to have before the board in the next meeting or two, an over-under policy and some modifications to our electronic payments. Also want to thank CTC. I just can't speak highly enough about CTC, our IT contractor. We have weekly meetings with them to move through things, have a ticketing system, multi-factor authentication. They're saving us money. They're cleaning up our licenses and things and making all of our data more secure and more accessible. They've been great getting the hardware and software in place for our digital records initiative, which was approved by the board in the budget. Special thanks to Aurora, Barb, Christy, for your help. We should have 2 temporary records clerks on board soon to start the scanning project. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk Flintoff, the upcoming proposed agenda items, you had created that in the past, and it's been a while. It was really helpful.
Yeah, I volunteered to do it when we first took off. I did it for a year, and then kind of suggested I need to get with Christy on kind of a handoff. I wanted to hand it off to the person who was responsible for the agenda. So we can do that. I'm happy to continue doing it, but we'll coordinate with our operations manager on that.
So do you want to keep this on? Keep it as an item here, report of upcoming?
I'll defer to Christy on
Okay.
however she wants to present this.
Okay. I just don't want to keep bringing it up if we're not going to use it right now, or just let me know.
Are you talking about the listing in the background, or I'm not sure.
Under reports,
Yeah.
so it says report of upcoming proposed agenda items.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, just yeah.
Okay.
I liked it. I thought it was helpful, and then
It is.
Yeah.
But I'm
like
sure it's
today
a lot
with
to
the-
keep track of, and I did speak with Clerk Flintoff, and we were going to connect on it, but it's one of those things that
Yeah,
just
we're just busy. Thank you.
Sure.
Election Commission, we haven't, take it away.
Sure, we have meetings upcoming. They'll soon be on the calendar. We have 4 scheduled for the year.
Okay. And we don't have a May 5th.
There's no May election. Our next election is the August primary and the November general. So folks who get their absentee ballots will start getting them the 3rd week of June. I've started this week reaching out to my election inspectors, and we'll complete that this week.
Thank you. Lac Alpine Sanitary Authority, I am the chair of that authority, and we are making a lot of headway with changes, policies, and communication and whatnot. It's been a pleasure to work with everyone there, and everybody's really dedicated to making this just more efficient for our residents and customers in Lac Alpine. Yeah. Parks, Pathways, Preserves Committee, Trustee Reed.
We did not meet this month due to lack of agenda items. The Land Preservation Commission did meet, and we have forwarded a motion to request funding for a parcel, which we'll, of course, probably have to discuss in closed session, and we'll have more about that when we do.
Okay, and I have a question later for you. You just reminded me. But,
okay.
All right, thank you. Planning Commission, Trustee Bryant.
Yes, the Planning Commission met last night. We held 2 public hearings on ordinance amendments. This is for data centers and renewable energy. Both of those ordinances have been recommended for approval by the Planning Commission. So therefore, it will be coming to the Board of Trustees. I would like to personally thank Laura Krebs for the work she did on compiling an excellent restrictive ordinance on data centers. She took her knowledge and the knowledge of Carlisle Wortman from multiple townships and gave us a very solid restrictive ordinance. You may recall the Planning Commission was intent on getting an ordinance out there as quickly as possible, recognizing that a lack of ordinance is not a defense against applications, nor is a moratorium. So that was accomplished. I think it's very good. I hope the board passes it directly. We also talked about the upcoming master plan. There's a collaborative meeting scheduled between the Board of Trustees and the Planning Commission to also incorporate the work that the Huron River Watershed Council did, giving us recommendations for suggestions and next steps for the master plan. So I look forward to that next meeting.
Treasurer, or,
It's okay.
Clerk Flintoff.
Kathleen, thank you. I just had a question on the PUD community benefits handout from Laura. It says this is from our current master plan. I see it lacks anything about kind of density or affordable housing. Is the master planning process where we'll start digging into what our community benefits, what criteria we might use for
Jessica, if
community
you'd like
benefit?
me to answer that, I can.
Oh, okay.
Because this
Well, I
was
could answer
taken
it.
completely, I'm sorry, but it was taken completely from the master plan. And yes, that we have to include some of those things in the master plan when we go through the process again.
I wonder if somebody, before this is shared, or if it's being shared with developers, if we might just put a date on it, if it's that outdated, to maybe kind of, put as of the master plan adopted, whatever the date is, just so people know that this isn't where we're going.
Sure, I think we can do that.
Because it certainly doesn't reflect a lot of what we've discussed. Kathleen, did you have anything?
No, I wasn't involved in that, so Kathy knows more about it.
Okay. But this is straight from the master plan?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'd really like to, we've talked about PUDs, like maybe doing density bonuses when we had the, preliminary PUD approval, trying to incentivize multifamily housing at the Goodrich, and they didn't bite on that. We need to do more incentives. I thought we did a pretty good job of that, but we need a better policy. We've just said again and again, we need a policy for our community benefits with PUDs, and I just would really like to achieve that as part of the master planning process.
And we could even be discussing it as a board at some point at a meeting, because I think that is very significant. And this whole discussion occurred at our development review team meeting. Questions about what does this reflect? Why now? Laura was just trying to summarize and get something out there that she could refer to at this time.
I would love to just have this on an agenda in the next month or so at the board table.
Okay.
Before the master plan, and then include it?
Kind of in conjunction with it. I think this is worth a conversation in itself.
And just to be clear, the master plan, the planning commission will be working on, and then the final approval comes to the board.
Right.
If I remember the last time.
If we say it does.
What, do we have to say it, or
Yeah,
is
I
it
think
in
we
our
do.
ordinance?
We have to state it affirmatively. But yes, we have talked about how we definitely want to do it differently this time, and we want it to come to the board.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Brandt, do you have more for the planning commission?
No, I was finished.
Okay, thank you. All right, Sustainability Task Force. Who provides those reports?
Planning Commission, it's a subcommittee of the Planning Commission.
Trustee Brandt, do they?
What I recall is Chairperson Culbertson had mentioned that that task force has a food waste recycling challenge that they're encouraging the board to participate in. And also, if you compost at home, you get credit for that. We can check that out on their part of the webpage.
We get money off our taxes?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, well, I compost, so. Gelman, we've already touched on that. I'm fine. Oh, okay, we're going to, well, why not? Township lobbying efforts, and I know that John Horford from GCSI is here tonight, but our subcommittee or committee.
Have you met?
We have had conference calls on the phone where the three of us have been present.
Okay. All right. Roads Advisory Committee, as I had stated before, the Roads Advisory Committee will be in front of the board for a presentation on April 28th. And our next meeting after that, May 13th. Yeah, at 6 p.m. right here. Thank you. Multimodal Transit Committee.
Thank you. The committee will be meeting next Tuesday, April 21st at 9 a.m. We had rescheduled the last meeting as AAATA and MDOT had been behind on providing additional information and feedback that we needed. But we have some of that information, should have more by the meeting next Tuesday.
Okay, did you say 9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
9 a.m., okay. I know there was residents that were asking, so thank you for that. And Office, no?
Operations manager.
Yeah, Christine, you're
you're
going
gonna
to need to
update.
remove that.
I need to update it.
So, Office Manager?
Yeah, the only comment that I have is the purchase of the microphone for the public table. So I don't know if it'll be ready by the 28th meeting, but I'll have an update then if the equipment is not in. So hopefully
Okay.
that will be beneficial for the whole room and everyone be able to hear better. I'm hoping, so.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have a question for our operations manager. What is the status of the public bathroom outside here? Functional?
I spoke to, and we have our parks person here, she can speak to it too, but I spoke with the project manager a few weeks ago and reminded him that he needs to bring back the item about the hours of the bathroom. So we can, he's out of town currently, but we can sit down with him, with the parks director and talk about that and bring it back to the board.
Can I ask a question about that? Is there like a lock on it, a combinate, how is it?
It's a turnkey lock currently, right? Yes? Yes. Turnkey lock, and that will be part of what is brought back to the board when we figure out the best avenue to go forward to.
Like hours and how to secure it?
All of that.
Okay.
We, obviously, the board had a lot of comments from the meeting in the, I think it was in the fall, November-ish. And the project manager is supposed to be bringing back the item. And so I reminded him, springtime, he kind of, I think he had other things going on over the winter. And I said, spring's coming, let's get this back to the board so we can get the bathrooms open and available for the public. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, L2, Code Enforcement, 2026 First Quarter Activity Report. We have our Code Enforcement Officer, Keith DeJuan. Hi, Keith.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Keith DeJuan, your Code Enforcement Officer. It's a pleasure to give you my quarterly report for the first quarter of 2026. We received 89 complaints during the first quarter. I was able to close out about 71 of those. And as you can see, if you've looked through the report that I submitted, most of those were sidewalk maintenance complaints due to the extended and overwhelming winter weather that we had in the first quarter. I did have 13 complaints that are remained open from the previous year. Work is continuing towards compliance on those complaints. There was one citation issued in the first quarter for non-compliance of a business, and I had 3 separate court appearances for continued blight violations from the previous year. Just to wrap it up, the complaint numbers were up approximately 63% over the same quarter last year. And again, I think the winter weather created most of that. And I'm working cooperatively with the planning and zoning administrator, and you'll see a lot of those complaints. That's the second highest complaint is the zoning as far as business and use. That rounds that out. Is there any questions at all?
Did you say signage or sidewalks initially?
Sidewalk.
Sidewalk.
Yeah. The bar graph actually doesn't accurately represent how many complaints there were. To get the whole graph in there and make it look good, I had to scale it down.
So
yeah, sidewalk maintenance.
Is it like like clearance of snow, or is it vertical discontinuity?
Snow and ice. That could also be grass and overgrown vegetation in the summer, but this specifically for first quarter was snow and ice.
Okay. And are those brought to your attention you found on patrol, or is it complaint-based?
Some are complaint-based, and some are actually me going out and noticing which businesses are not cleaning their sidewalks off.
So of the sidewalk complaints or that you look at, are they mostly commercial, or is it mostly residential?
Mostly commercial.
Okay. And with respect to sign violations, are those something you find on patrol generally, or are those complaint-based as well?
Those are basically found on patrol. I might get a complaint on those signs on occasion, but most of those are just me out roaming around.
And are those, they're not like commercial signs where they didn't get a permit, but they're rather the little yard signs that go in lawn extensions? Like,
Yard, or what we call curb signs.
like
You'll
that.
notice that I had 35 of those, and that totaled 55 of those signs were.
Like my campaign signs were. Okay.
Far fewer of those in the first quarter due to the ground being frozen. So now they're popping up like weeds.
Are you finished?
Yeah, thank
Clerk Flannery.
Yeah, that's actually a good segue. Keith, could you, given that we're entering the joyous time of campaign yard signs for the rest of 2026, could you give some guidance to the public about if and how political campaign signs are treated similarly or different than other such signs?
Political signs certainly are allowable. They can't be placed within the right-of-way, and that's where my focus is in any public right-of-way. So basically between sidewalk and the road, or any public-owned property along the roadway would be considered right-of-way. You can't place any signage in those spaces at all. You can place them in your yard, certainly. Typically what I try to tell people is at least 15 feet from the road edge onto your personal property. I don't touch any of those. That's your yard, and if you want to have a sign out there, that's perfectly acceptable as far as political signs, but they cannot be within the right of way.
Thank you.
I have a question. How do you keep track of all of these complaints and this graph? Or this is really nice. Is there?
All the complaints that I get are generated either online, come in by telephone, or call into the township hall here. I log all those through a program that's called Smartsheet. And basically that organizes all of my work and keeps everything in a neat fashion that I can follow up on it, make sure that all of the activities, everything that I do are documented and attached to each line in that sheet. So it's a good organizational tool, which I have to renew here soon. But that is something that I use specifically for these numbers in this report.
And that helps you create this?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. It's really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. And Treasurer Yeaple, you have?
Thank you. Thanks for all your hard work. I know we talked recently about how many users to renew that program for, so look forward to getting that done for you. Is there anything we're legislatively missing that we could maybe work on an ordinance for that would fill a need that we're not addressing?
I believe that, soon we're going to have grass complaints, overgrown grass. So a grass height or weed ordinance would be something that would be helpful. Also, a vacant building ordinance would also be helpful, and that would be twofold, not only for us, but for the fire department as well. If we have a building that's unoccupied, whether it be a house, or I'm thinking more commercial properties, but it could be any unoccupied building, they would have to at least register that building with us, and that way we have proper contact information, and also provide a way of knowing what's in these buildings, or is this an attractive nuisance? Is this something that's going to create more work down the road for code enforcement? I believe that type of ordinance would be helpful for both us here at the township and for the fire department as well.
Awesome. Well, one last follow-up, I guess, to that. I think sometime earlier this afternoon, the board received a number of, at least 3 or 4 different communications about Airbnbs.
Yeah, I'll talk about that if you want.
Oh, okay.
I should have mentioned it during planning. I just
Yeah,
realized
I didn't know if it fell under ordinance or planning or maybe
Well,
both.
it is code enforcement. We do not currently have an ordinance for that. I was informed by Laura Krebs that that's considered a general ordinance, which the board would bring forth, not the planning commission. So that's something we need to address quickly. We've identified 3 properties that are way in excess of any building code county requirements. And that is being worked on, by the way.
I do get those complaints on occasion. In the past year, maybe a handful of those complaints, but like she said, there is no current ordinance that would address those.
So we could put that on the action items to be on the future agenda.
Sure.
I would try to carry that forward. I don't, anyway.
Did Laura say that there's a model ordinance?
No, we didn't discuss.
Okay.
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 Right.
Not
All
tonight.
right, thank you.
And when is our next work session? Maybe that could be a work session topic?
May
May
20th. 19th?
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah. You said May 19th?
19th
And
or
then I heard
20th.
echo.
She said 19th. I thought it was 20th.
Okay.
No, April 20th for the PC.
No, the,
I know, I'm answering both of you separately.
Ah,
okay. Well, maybe we could have that on the May.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
You can still do that if you want.
Trustee Reiser?
I'll be quick. I know we've been on this guy for a while. We get a lot of FOIAs regarding fire. Do fire complaints, like brush fires or smoke or whatever fire complaints there might be, do you get those, you shag those calls, or you get turned over to fire department on this?
No, all the fire complaints go directly to the fire department. They will loop me in if there is a continued ordinance violation, if they have while they're out at one, like we have recently, they had to call out 2 days in a row reference burning.
Okay.
They brought it to my attention and we found other violations that we're working on. So I do work with the fire department in regards to those complaints.
And how about abandoned cars or, cars that are left in neighborhoods for over 48 hours? Is that something, not something, is that something that they go to the depths, or would that come to you and then to the depths?
It typically depends on where the car is located. If it's on the roadway, then it would be turned over to the sheriff's office. If it's in a driveway or private property, then that would be me. There are questions sometimes as to if it's a private roadway, the authority of the sheriff's office to tag a vehicle on a private roadway. Typically what I'll do is I'll call them in just to find out typically who owns the vehicle, and then I can follow up from there on a private roadway versus a public roadway.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you, Keith.
I'd like to wrap up just one thing.
Sure.
I've noticed a lot of recently, and I want to make sure that everybody's clear, is that dogs in our parks and preserves must be leashed. We're getting a lot of people running dogs, loose dogs. I've actually had dogs at a preserve jump on me when I was trying to talk to somebody. They must be leashed while in our parks and preserves. Scio Township does not have any dog parks.
And also in all of our township, if you're off of your own property, correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
Per ordinance, if it's off your own property, it must be leashed.
And state law. Yep. Thank you.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
At the intersection of Harley and Scio Ridge, there is a large dog park. It's in the ravines and meadowlands, and it's open to the public.
Good.
So it's quite large. If you're in the ravines or meadowwoods, check it out and direct those people to that free parking, because those are public streets, so there's free parking, and it's it's quite a large park. The only request is bag your not your waste, but Dag the dog's waste, and their trash cans there.
That is also in our ordinance that you must immediately dispose of pet feces.
Well, to end that conversation.
Any other questions?
No,
Thanks for
thank you
coming.
so
Have a
much.
good evening.
Thank you.
Keith, thank you. Thanks, Keith. Okay, on to unfinished business. N1, possible action, hire a consultant to assess and report on board and employee relations. And this was prepared by Trustee Reiser, also, recommended with Trustee Reed. Trustee Reiser, would you like to?
I can introduce this. I will say, if we want to accommodate our lobbyists, and I don't know if this is a 5-minute conversation or 50-minute conversation, but to the extent we want to slide 01 in front of it, I don't oppose that if we want to get a visitor out of here. So I would ask this board's permission to maybe do that.
It's fine with me. I know he had a tight schedule, and it would be fine with me. What do you?
Okay, well, is that a motion?
Yeah, I moved to do it. My apologies, I didn't think of it.
I didn't either. Support.
Oh, okay, so I'm suggesting to move it after,
Right now.
to N1 to after O2.
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Well,
Okay, this tabled.
oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, okay, I see. And then I'm just looking to see if there anybody else.
Patsy for operations director.
Yeah, so how about this? If we, let's put N1 after 05?
Okay.
That's me.
That's a good idea.
And then it would be before K3?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he's going to be here longer.
No, it's N1 we're moving.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that's a motion, is that a friendly amendment to
Yes,
Ryan's
of course.
motion supported by Noel? Okay,
For
to move N1 after 05.
Yes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, N1 is moved. Discussion only presentation by John Horford of pending Michigan zoning legislation. Hi, John. John is from GCSI, our lobbying firm.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just talk loud.
Oh, just talk loud, perfect. Before I start this, I was asked to bring up some bills related to a housing readiness package. It's bipartisan. I had sent it in my weekly legislative report that I sent to the board, which, by the way, hasn't been sent in the last 3 weeks because they've been on a 3-week break, so there has been no session.
Oh, nice.
I know, right? It must be nice to get a 3-week vacation, but of course some of them are working during that. And then I've also had some conversations with leadership, primarily in the House with Republican leadership, just to see what the appetite was to actually move these bills, because I know there was concern related to the impact on local control. And as they are currently written, and I believe I had mentioned this in one of my emails, the bills will not move as currently written. To actually put an emphasis on that, one of the bill sponsors, Representative Aragona from the Macomb area, who's also the reg reform chair, has a primary opponent because of his support of this package. And they have a deal with that opponent to drop out of the race if they're willing to make amendments to these bills. So,
Wow.
Yes.
That's politics.
That's politics. That's politics. So they're very serious about the bills not passing as they currently are. I'm happy to talk about some of the bills in this package and the potential impact if you would like me to still. More than happy to do that, but just know that they will not move forward as currently written. And then one last thing. if there's any interest by anyone on the board to meet with any of the sponsors, more than happy to set any of those meetings up to discuss any particular aspect of any of these bills, or I'm more than happy to take those meetings on behalf of the township. It's completely up to you all to decide.
Do you know what the potential changes are, or what they're removing, or is it, I know there's many of them.
Yeah, there's many. We don't know what the specifics of the language are. I think that's where the meetings are helpful, so you can sort of see what the proposed amendments could be and have those discussions with the bill sponsors directly. They're obviously, they would most likely be related to the issues that are being raised by many townships, obviously, but other organizations as well in relation to local control. So if you'd like, I mean, I can talk about some of the potential impacts.
I'm curious, well, just speaking for myself, not the sport. I'm curious as to what's most likely to get through that's going to impact local control in township governance with respect to housing and setbacks. What do you think is going to get through?
Right.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to speculate, and I wouldn't want to cause any undue panic or worry. But I would just say that as they're currently written, it's just not going to happen. To the point that I had a meeting today with one of the members of Republican leadership, and he had mentioned that the House Republicans are thinking of passing or introducing their own package of bills. Not to oppose these necessarily, but just to address a lot of the housing issues. Because the whole idea behind this package is that Michigan is in a housing crisis, that people are struggling to get the housing that they need. Young people especially are struggling. So just to clear the way and make the path easier. So it's something that I believe truly is bipartisan. Both sides do want it. It's just how you get to that point. Working out those details is really the current rub.
Clerk Flintoff?
Yeah, thank you. Like John, I'm curious about which ones, if you could keep us apprised of which ones are most likely and how we can be engaged in proposed modifications. I will say there's a lot of support for this package from, a lot of organizations that I support, environmental organizations, organizations that advocate for more housing, more affordable housing. And so I certainly don't want to sit up here and just say, hey, that would take away some of our local control if the state has a better idea than we do. So what I do want to ask about specifically is, like, when I read just, and I know we have to take these one by one, but like House Bill 5530, and I appreciate my colleagues who have more experience in planning and zoning might be able to educate me, but that sounds like a good idea, right? To prohibit zoning ordinances from imposing a minimum parcel size of more than 1,500 square feet on land zoned for a single-family home that will be served by public water and sewer. So if I imagine the area served by public water and sewer here, a single-family home, that Scio would not be able to have a minimum parcel size of more than 1,500 square feet. To me, that looks like a good policy that would promote a little bit more sustainable development, maybe slightly more dense development. I also don't think in Scio's case it would affect so many because we don't have so many single-family homes on water and sewer. But I guess when I'm looking at kind of our sustainability goals, our goals to get maybe multifamily or smaller, more dense housing, a lot of these things sound like a good idea. So I want to kind of sort through these and not just be, MTA saying, oh, you're taking away our autonomy. If this is a better idea that's going to get us toward our sustainability goals, I want to support the parts that do that.
Yeah, and I think the bill sponsors would really appreciate that. And another reason why I put it on your guys' radar was just so you could determine which bills work well for Scio and which ones don't. You would be much you would be much more prepared to make that decision than I would. So essentially at GCSI, we're just trying to keep you aware of that. But I guess another thing that I want to talk about just related to like those bills, for example, so then you have to talk about like the potential impact. So the potential negative impacts that they're talking about for that pack, or for those two bills, 5529 and 5530, which are sort of paired together. It reduces the township's ability to manage density within sewer service areas and limits flexibility to align development with infrastructure capacity and long-term planning goals, and it constrains use of lot size as a tool for a transitional land use and neighborhood character. And again, it would vary township to township, because there are absolutely townships who are going to say, like, that's an absolute no for us.
Treasurer Maple? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah,
please.
thank you. Yeah, I agree with Clerk Flintoff. I think there's a lot of good that we can do here, but there is also some potential, just things we need to think about. Like I'm reading the ADU, House Bill 5585, allowing ADUs to be built on or off site. Well, at first glance, that sounds great. If we're allowing ADUs to be built off-site wherever, does that traverse municipalities? Like, okay, a developer comes in and builds 100 homes here. Can they go build 100 ADUs in the city of Ann Arbor, or do they have to be in the same municipality? There's just a lot of questions that come with a lot of this. And one of the questions is the density question, We do have water and sewer district. We do have the ability to have smaller lot sizes, potentially. But we also only have so much capacity because we don't have solely our own system for processing sanitary sewer, and we also rely on the city of Ann Arbor for water. So that's where this is very complex for us, as it probably is for other communities.
And you can absolutely put in support for specific bills in the package without supporting others. It doesn't have to be the entire package. Related to 5585, though, so if we're talking about that potential impact in that bill, it eliminates public hearing and discretionary approval processes for qualifying ADUs. It prevents the township from requiring additional parking or applying occupancy standards, and it limits ability to manage density and infrastructure impacts at the parcel level.
Does anyone know what occupancy standards means in English? I just worry that has some effect on the building code and having a habitable structure, but I hope that someone at the legislature would have thought of that, but okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
In my concern, our concern at GCSI is making sure that Scio is happy with the bills that are coming out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes everything move a little bit smoother when we're not having to oppose what's being proposed by the sponsors. Right?
Good.
So
I guess,
Trustee Riser?
speaking for myself, I'm in favor of density where we have the water and sewer to be able to do it. I'd rather pack them in closer where it's generally along the Jackson Quarter, some other places, and have them closer rather than have them closer and a lot of well and septic somewhere else. So I'm 1/7, and this 1/7 of the board is in favor of density where we have the water and sewer to support it. And that might mean smaller setbacks, that might mean smaller lot size. You don't need big mansions. We have a lot of those, and we'll continue to have more because we've got vacant land. But it's nice to be able to allow people to live in denser neighborhoods where we've got infrastructure for it. But that's just speaking for me.
Trustee Brand?
Yeah, I think what you're saying, John, is also consensus of the Planning Commission and working in that direction. We had worked previously on the PUD ordinance, and one of the suggested changes was not to allow a PUD, to only allow a PUD within the water and sewer district so that it doesn't consume open space, ag land, that sort of thing. So I think the township has a common goal there, I'm hoping.
Trustee Noel?
Yeah, so I've had reservations about these to the extent that they take away the local control. And we've got to talk about the details. You know, it's hard to just read it and consider various aspects of what they talk about. I keep going back to one of our goals, our stated goals in Scio Township is to preserve the semi-rural character of Scio Township. And I see some of these as potentially infringing on that. And some of these might be inconsistent with our current master plan. I also note that many of the planning organizations like Carlisle Wortman and other planning groups that provide planning services to townships, they are opposed to this. And I know when you and I were talking at one point, you mentioned that Matt Hall had said that not much is going to move with these for a while. Like, I would like a little more information on that, what that meant.
Yeah, so Speaker Hall has made comments about how his ideal legislative session, so for this year, he would only like to pass, around like 30 bills, like 30, 35 bills. So, yes, I think that's most people's
With a 3-week vacation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's most people's reaction. Yeah. So, in the name of being efficient,
You missed the deadline last year.
however you'd like to look at it, that was sort of a comment that he's made, and that would fit with how they ran everything last year.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very few bills got through. With that being said, everything is a negotiation with Speaker Hall. So if he could get something that he wanted from supporting this package, and then he has some of his own members with bills in this package, I think there's a world where they would be likely to move it. But, with that statement, this is nearly like a third of the bills based on the number of bills that he said that he would like to have passed. Could that change? It could absolutely change, just depending on primarily the Senate being willing to work with the House to pass more of the House's priorities.
How many got passed last year?
Not many. More than that, more than the 35, but not many. I believe it was under 100.
Well, the issues that I have with this is, of course, everybody knows we need housing. Will this create affordable housing? I don't know how that would, because developers are going to want their money back. So that really, there has to be another creative way for affordable housing, if it's the brownfield or subsidies or whatever. The ADUs, as Treasurer Yapel had mentioned, within the water and sewer district, which we have along Jackson Road, the smaller parcels having ADUs, which would be, I can understand for mother-in-law, and whatnot. But if this is passed as is, and of course it doesn't sound like it's going to be, anybody could have an ADU, and then we are stuck with, we're running out of REUs, which is residential equivalent units regarding sewer. So those ADUs could eat up all those REUs, and then when we decide to have a PUD or a multifamily, we may not have the capacity, which brings us back to negotiating with Ann Arbor, and hopefully we could do that. I'm concerned about these bills as a one-size-fits-all for all municipalities. And we're different than Pittsfield, and we're different than Webster, so that's a big issue for me. I do attend the supervisor quarterly meeting, or Well, they're monthly, every other month meetings. And last month, or earlier this month, I don't know, it's all blends in together. This was a big topic. Supervisor Brenda Stumbo from Ypsilanti Township, she was very vocal, and a lot of the same concerns that everybody else has. And she requested, she says, you know, this all happens on the back end. You're all talking about this, you're creating these bills. You don't come to the townships or the municipalities and say, hey, what do you think about this? A survey or whatever. Why can't we be involved in the front, or now we're in the front end, but why can't we be involved in the back end? Just like we are responsible, or we answer to our constituents, our residents here, and we really want to know from them what is affecting their lives. It should be the same thing for us. So if you could request, I mean, it's an idea to have them, you know, have some surveys, or I have this bill and send it out, you know, and I don't know how that would get to us. But, and I also speaking with Jason Morgan had attended, there was Debbie Dingle, Jennifer Conlon. I write down everybody that's in attendance. But Jason said, after listening, he says, well, if these bills pass, you still get a say. It's just that you have to listen to the development first, and then you can turn it down later. But I don't know if that is true, because they haven't been passed yet, and that's a big concern for me. Well, you could say all you want, but once they're passed, it may not be, it has to be in those bills to say, yes, you can turn it down later. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect opportunity for the board to sort of decide what language they would like to see in these bills. We can go and meet with these sponsors, and we can make those suggestions ahead of time before these bills are passed. Like that's absolutely doable. So it's doing exactly what you had mentioned.
Okay.
I don't mind yielding.
No, go ahead. You had your, did you have your, no. Okay.
Lightning round, in this session, are there likely to be bills passed on short-term rentals,
Potentially.
data centers,
Short-term rental, as in,
Potentially.
drone and autonomous delivery vehicles,
There's a few bills that are out related to drones.
and elections and voting registration.
Yeah, possibly.
See, I think those four might be things that we might be interested in.
Very
As a
much.
board. Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, agreed.
so we might want a little more, if you could keep us in the loop on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Okay, perfect.
Trustee Reed has his hand up before,
Sorry.
or after.
That's it for me,
after-
I'm gonna
okay.
shut up, is what I'm saying.
No, that's great. No, that's actually very helpful. It's very helpful to know which bills to be flagging. And again, on any of those bills as well, we can go to the sponsors, we can have conversations. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna take the suggestions, but the suggestions can be made, the points can be made. You can work to educate them on why those changes are being proposed. I think that's very helpful in the process. Most good legislators don't claim to be experts on everything, so it helps to have input from people that they do have more knowledge.
Trustee Reed.
Yes. Jillian, you used the term affordable housing, and that to me is a trigger phrase. Because depending on where in this county, or certainly in this state, affordable housing means totally different things to the people in those communities. Affordable housing in Scio Township is not the same as affordable housing in, well, I'm not going to, in other townships. I've said before, we have created a gated community here in Scio Township because of our level of income and because of the homes that are built to reflect that level of income. So this, and House Bill 5530 would limit the size of, or require a parcel size of at least 1,500 square feet is the way I read that. It's kind of like a double or even a triple negative, but it's been taking me 10 minutes to try to figure that out. But that parcel size is 30 by 50 feet, which I assume would be 50 feet deep and 30 feet wide. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that how you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,500 square feet minimum lot size for single family homes.
Boy, Okay, we don't have that as a minimum, do we?
No.
Okay, all right.
Well, but in Southside Ann Arbor and Little Rock and a lot of communities, that's how they used to be. And people live there and thrive there, and it's just a more dense, less expensive way to develop.
More
Okay.
sustainable.
More sustain, yeah, okay. So I think we just have to be careful about using the term affordable housing versus low-income housing. Because affordable housing is not definable, low-income housing is. There's the MD, whatever that term is for, you take the income and the county minimum, whatever thing is. That we can use to define, in my opinion, we can use to define low-income housing, but affordable housing, we cannot define that.
Well, I think affordable housing is defined by MISTA, and it might be 60% of the AMI area.
Yeah.
Median income.
Right.
So affordable housing,
60?
I think it's 60% of AMI, depending, but I think it's 60% of
Floating.
AMI. But, so there's a definition for it out there. I don't know that
Okay,
that's before us today, but it does exist.
my mistake.
Treasurer Yeagle.
Thank you. I would just say people should go out and read these bills because most of them are only a page or two, at least in their current form. So they are actually very readable. They're not made changed considerably, but it just says, for example, the 50 by 30 foot question is a zoning ordinance must not impose a minimum parcel size of more than 1,500 square feet on land zoned for a detached single family residence if the parcel is accessible to and will be served by public water and public sewer. So it could be some weird machination of size.
It's a great idea.
Which is fine. One thing I was going to note is this year we passed, well, not we, the legislature's passed 7 bills in the first 3 months, the lowest on record in 20 years. Last year they passed 32 in the first 3 months. The entirety of last year they passed 74. I also noticed that Jimmy Wilson Jr. dropped off as co-sponsor in several of these.
He's probably getting some pressure.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was with Jimmy today. I could ask him.
Yeah, and that's the other fun part about going to the state house, state legislature website. You can see who drops in and drops off and how bills move around. I'd encourage everybody to reach out to Morgan Foreman, the rest of our local reps. It's fun to get to talk to people and pick their brain too. Thanks.
Yeah, I just wonder about our next steps. I mean, it sounds like there's some, support on the board for more housing. I mean, we need more types of housing at all types of housing, but some concerns as well. So what is the next step in terms of, what would you like to see from the committee? Is it red line? Is it speaking points? What is it that you would need from the committee for us to be effective in Lansing?
Yeah, any specifics on these bills, and I can get you bills related to the other items as well, but if you like them, if you like the bills, and there are no changes that you all would like to see, but we can let the sponsors know that we like the bills in these forms. If there are any specific changes, like we have an issue with this language, or what does this specifically mean, or anything like that, more than happy to connect with the bill sponsors and have those discussions and make those changes. And again, if anyone's interested, more than happy to set up meetings for you all to come and be a part of that process directly. So if during the course of that conversation something comes to mind, or you can get additional context for why something was put into the bill the way that it was, it could help to, provide some clarification.
Great.
I have a suggestion. The bills that Trustee Reiser had spoken about, if we could have a list of everything, and then we have our work session coming up soon, and we can go through. I don't think these bills are going to pass before, what did you say, May 19th. May 19th. No? Or do you want the committee to do that? But
No. I don't mind doing that, but what I would want is what bills are out there that's going to impact municipal governments, us, like, if they say short-term rentals are a go and data centers are a go, and look out for those delivery drones, they're coming, and here's how you gotta register to vote, and now you need your passport, and so, stuff that impacts us, just let us know that this has been introduced, and this is where it is. And then if we
And
want
it's
to.
likely moving, and we should.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah,
The
and a
crystal
lot of
ball
those things.
section's the tricky part.
Yeah, and I would say this, if you look at some of the, and I know that, the weekly legislative updates, sometimes there's a lot of bills in there and stuff like that, but there's always like an excerpt in there explaining like what it is and the implications. There's some of those types of bills in those weekly updates as well.
Right.
So, those are, yeah. Yep, so some of those are in there, but I can flag the specifics and the ones that I don't end up putting into the weekly update, I can make sure to send to the board
Like
separately
a
as well.
municipal update, because, Kratom and, there are a lot of things, and racetracks, and, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like a highlight of the,
Of everything, but like municipally centered legislation.
Yeah.
What I'd be interested in.
Okay, so what are we directing John to do again? John?
Well, I think that David and Kathy and I could meet with him, but I think what we want to know is what's out there coming down the pike that might impact how we govern ourselves.
Yeah,
Do you want it to the committee first, and then you share it with us, or how do you want?
Whatever, if you have like a, municipal watch or a Scio watch or something like that, to all of us would be the easiest.
Great. Yeah, done.
You're good at Okay, so, please share. I still don't know what we're telling you to do. I'm sorry.
Could you summarize, John?
What I'm asking him to do, and he's, I think, agreed to do, and it makes sense that we all know what it is could you inform us and keep us apprised of bills that have been introduced that will impact municipal governance, Scio Township governance. Short-term rental certainly will, data center will, setbacks in zoning, what's going to impact us? Like, let's say we want to say no drones. You can't deliver drones, Amazon, to Scio Township. The state of Michigan says, yes, you can, because we're going to allow it. Or let's say, I'm sure the clerk's office and staff want to know what might be coming down the pike with respect to how we conduct our elections and register our voters and send out mailings. So things that you think will impact township.
Yeah, and send it separately from the general weekly legislative update.
Well, this I assume a lot of folks get this.
Well,
Yes.
No, but a lot of other clients of yours get
Yes.
it. Yes, I'm looking for something
Yes,
that's
I understand.
that's kind of more municipal focused.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, that's all.
Yes.
And wouldn't we want to know if something is going to,
Well, we want to know that, but
that's what we want to know.
crystal ball, that's like the last week of the year all that stuff happens. Lame duck sometimes. But we want to know if it's coming down the pike or if it's got traction, to the extent you can provide that.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Thanks for coming.
I thought we were going to do more with these.
Thank you.
but,
Thank you all for the time.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, John.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we tabled them too. Let's see. I guess 03. 6540 Jackson Road, Township owned parcel, and this was.
Prepared by Chris Train.
Christy, are you
Christy,
going to present this? Because Chris is not here.
you have a handout here, Christy, proposed motions.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to offer the model motion.
Okay, so is there discussion?
I can do that if you like. So this item was brought up previously at a meeting in February, I believe. That was part of our meeting series Yeah, you can come up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Chris asked me to stand in to answer.
Oh. Okay.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome.
Murphy, our Parks Director.
So this
Murphy
item
Hampton.
was introduced at a previous meeting in February, where we discussed township-owned properties, including this parcel and several other parcels throughout the township. This is a relatively small parcel. It's less than an acre in size. Certainly, there's been some discussion about what to do with these parcels where they're not being actively used for a public purpose. So I'll let Murphy introduce if she has anything else to start.
I'm mostly here for the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that Chris had a meeting with someone who was interested. No, that was 18 kids, so never mind.
We'll get to that one. Yep.
Yeah, he's got the memo attached to
Yeah.
this with the information, and he wasn't sure what direction the board wanted to go. So.
Wasn't Charlie at our meeting?
Yes.
Charlie was at the last meeting.
Yes. For
The last meeting.
For the last meeting, this was discussed.
WISD.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say.
I don't have too much to say about that one because I'm
Okay,
not sure.
well,
what
if
the
you have an
parks
opinion,
value
go
of it
ahead.
is, so.
Okay.
So we have interest from somebody. So this was from our conversation, looking at our land, making sure we're using best possible, highest possible public use of our assets. This was one property that we own and aren't currently using, and it also sounds like there was some interest from somebody in buying it.
Correct. Over time, there's been different organizations such as the Kiwanis or entities of various natures that have been interested in the parcel. Charlie Kahn from Swisher Commercial Real Estate has been able to provide some background from our previous planning consultant, Doug Lewan, and some of the unique, zoning variances this parcel has because of its unique small shape and size. So there was a recommendation or a proposal that this property may garner some money for sale. At the time, this letter was back from 2010, so it was almost 16 years ago, that it had a current market value at that time of approximately $140,000. A suggestion I have and sort of a model motion that came up with internally after some discussion was to authorize the listing of this township-owned property at 6540 Jackson Road with Swisher Commercial and to receive offers for purchase.
Okay, and just to be clear that, is there a second?
Did you make the motion?
I did. Yep.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, and just to be clear that this is not to be placed on the market for this specific person. We're hiring this person to place it on the market.
Correct. Swisher Commercial is a commercial real estate company that has done work with the township in the past.
Okay.
Is very familiar with this parcel.
Clerk Flintoff, let's do a roll call vote, but let's have discussion first.
Sure.
Should we begin? Let's start down. Trustee Reed, we're leaving you out quite a bit tonight, so sorry.
Oh, as a member of the Land Preservation Commission and the Parks Department, or Parks Committee, I oppose the sale of this property. The LPC struggles to convince landowners to sell even their development rights, let alone the property themselves. So here we have an asset, a township asset that was given to us for free. It's half an acre, 0.522 acres, 22,000 square feet. And more, in my opinion, more forward-thinking, more progressive communities create little, what they call pocket parks, where and there is a sidewalk there, pedestrians can sit and relax, maybe we could plant a tree. I know I'm making more work for the Parks Department, but I would rather see this become a pocket park rather than another gas station or another parking lot. Like I said, it feels like we're selling our assets to pay our debts, but I don't think we should. I don't think we struggle to get land. This land is ours. This land is our land, and we shouldn't sell it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Brandt.
Sure. We talked quite a bit about this property and the suitability for making it something for public use. And I thought we fully talked about issues with parking for this small parcel. There's currently nothing on this parcel. There's no trees to remove. It's in the Jackson Road corridor where we talk about improvements for nodes and potential entertainment things like coffee shops. I'm in support of selling the property, and certainly we could, I think it's in the notes, it's estimated value of $400,000. I would go so far as to say we could use that for transit. So I'm fully supportive of this.
Mr. Reiser?
It's on Jackson Road, a highly commercial area. It's got water and sewer. I appreciate David's desire for pocket parks, because we don't have a lot of little parks with swing sets. That gray wall park in Pittsfield is the gold standard for a pocket park. But I think on this busy road, I see a better pocket park, something like the old Arbor's Grove on Zeep Road. That would be, I don't know, but I'm going to support this motion in favor.
Treasurer Yapel, anything?
No, I would just support the motion that I made. Thank you.
Clerk Flintoff, did you have something?
Yeah, I want to say I think it's our duty to make sure it goes to the best possible use. I don't want to make any rash decisions on this, because once we sell, we sell. I'll also say sometimes the most public good we can do is to sell, use the money for an identified purpose, be it preservation or public transit or whatever it is. And also getting it back on the tax roll. I will say on the next item, I have comments on kind of the larger parcel we have. I think there's a lot of good we can do there in terms of meeting our need for affordable housing and parks and different partnerships with nonprofits. I would welcome more investigation, David, and kind of a look at what that might look like. I'm not good at imagining this stuff. I see a busy corner. I'd be scared that my kids would run into the street or the little dogs would get run over, but I know I'm not using my imagination enough. So I'm wondering kind of how that would look. It's former Men on the Move. It's where the Men on the Move is, right there, right? Mm-hmm. And it's currently zoned I-1, but we own it. So I would be supportive of, tabling the selling of it if we had a plan to kind of look at what the alternatives would be, David. I don't know. I can't imagine a park, but that's because that's not my skill set. I would welcome hearing from, if there's a concept that somebody wants to spec out and bring to the board, I would, welcome considering that. And I'll just say too, I just want to say, because it's so small, I don't think there's any other township function we could use it for. Okay.
Trustee Noel?
I would authorize the listing. I would support that at this point, just given, the facts. I would be okay with that.
Okay. Let's go ahead with a,
I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay with what?
Authorizing the listing. Moving on the listing.
Mm-hmm. Could I offer a friendly amendment to Yapel and Brandt that we might direct all proceeds to our public transit fund?
I'd support that.
I could support that.
Just one thing. Remember this day when Jackson Road is built out wall to wall, side to side, tall buildings, gas stations, parking lots. Some of us are going to say, hey, it'd be nice to have a little bit of green space where we could sit and relax. And if we sell this, we'll never have that. So this is one of our assets. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I think we're making a big mistake.
Thank you, Trustee Reed. I appreciate your insights on this. Clerk Flintoff, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Okay, per our rules of order, tonight we're starting with Yapel. Yapel?
Could you reread it?
I'll read the motion by Yapel, support by Brandt, to authorize the listing of a township-owned property at 6540 Jackson Road with Swisher Commercial at market value and to receive offers for purchase and to direct all proceeds to the township's public transit fund.
Thank you.
I would just add as a process note, receive offers for purchase. It's understood those offers would come back to the board for a future decision by the board.
Call the question, or did you?
No, we're. Roll call? Yeah, roll call, please. Okay.
Per our rules of order, we're starting with Yapel. Yapel?
Yes.
Flintoff? No. Brandt?
Yes.
Knoll?
Yes.
Reed?
No.
Riser?
Yes.
Carey?
I'm going to vote no. I'm in support.
Motion passes 4-3.
Okay, I'll donate my
Great.
gold teeth next time.
Thank you.
Jesus. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so Trustee Reed, I want to.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand. I am in support if this does sell for the road, or the bus, the money to go to the bus. However, I also see Trustee Reed, this is a tough decision for me. Just want to clarify that. Okay, so moving on to 04, possible action, Stabler Road, Northeast, vacant parcel, township owned. Director Murphy, Harrington.
So, I can't really speak too much on Chris's conversation with the other business and their proposition. What I can say is that this parcel is awesome in terms of ecology and soils. So, from my perspective and thinking about not just like parks and preserves, but also about overall health of the township and thinking about water, since there are some areas around here that we do have perpetual problems with flooding. The soils here are made up of mostly soils with moderate infiltration and are really well-drained soils. We also have one section that is occupied by soils that have a high infiltration rate with a low runoff potential. This is particularly important because we're right in flood zone AE in that parcel, which means that part of that like 100-year plan, there's like a 1% chance that it could get flooded every 100 years. But it's enough, and it impacts the insurance of the businesses that are around there too. Just thinking about how that would impact the residents, but also thinking about what we can really do with this piece and how much of a public benefit it could have. We've had conversations with the Kiwanis in the past about expanding their trail system. And in doing so, if we are able to expand our trail system into this property, they have thought about putting their own property under conservation easement. So it would be kind of, it would be saving the rest of their property along with this property, creating a what could be a contiguous forested area, and it's a really nice wetland as it is. I think that there's been some talk about maybe putting a building on this site, and I think there's a way to do both, to support expansion and also protect this area. Especially, there's one area that's completely not developable, It's wetland, it's muck is really what they call it. Adrian muck. So definitely not really any building potential in this area anyway. But from a conservation perspective, it's really good, has a ton of potential. From a partnership perspective, also really good. I think this has a lot of potential for research too. So overall, great public benefit, and that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Murphy, appreciate that.
I just want to say, and I think it was with the way it was prepared without the model motion. I agree with you, Murphy. There's a ton of potential for this property. I think that I definitely want to keep it. I think there's a lot of things we could do with it. There's been the Kiwanis Club, Jewish Family Services, a lot of organizations that have expressed interest in doing something good for our community, I believe that the more time-sensitive question that had come up, and it was handed out in supplement by Christie in the proposed motions, because there wasn't a proposed motion here, is that expression of interest we had from E.T. McKenzie. I would support the model motion to decline that and just give them an answer at this point. I would make a motion to decline the expression of interest by E.T. McKenzie regarding vacant township-owned parcel located on Stabler Road Northeast, parcel number H0821200030.
Support.
Discussion?
Yeah, under discussion, this is a lot bigger than the one that's on Jackson Road. That was a.
Yes.
This is 32 acres.
Correct.
To David's point, which was a great point, this is pretty close to Jackson Road. Would there be room for a pocket park there, so people could recreate there? Is that something that?
Room for a lot. Lots of pockets.
Okay.
Yes.
If we sell, but it'd be nice. But I mean, David made a good point about there being like usable small parks for residents to go to and enjoy that might not be a big preserve, but a park. So I would hope that we would keep his point in mind regarding this parcel in the future.
Mr. Grant?
Yeah, the way this agenda item is presented is really talking about two separate parcels. It's very confusing that the proposed motion is regarding a piece of land that is not owned by the township. Let's be clear, this is not the one that's owned by the township.
Correct, and he was suggesting to.
He wants to swap. He
Yeah.
wants to trade land.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's also not, I didn't think it was clear in the materials. I see no reason to take a parcel that, by their own reckoning, has limited value and swap that out for a parcel we own that has quite a bit of value. That doesn't make any sense to me that this person bought this property, they bought the property accepting any risk in the property. It's not the purpose of government to alleviate risk from developers. So I'm fully supportive that we should turn down this offer for swapping. That doesn't make sense to me. And then are we talking about the parcel that we do own, which is on the east of North Stable? Is that not tonight?
So yes.
Okay, that's not on the docket for tonight?
Well, it's just the motion to decline
Okay.
this whole, yeah. Any other discussion, or could we just go right to vote?
Just to follow up on John's comment, a pocket park by definition is in the middle of concrete and steel. And it breaks the view, it gives the pedestrians and the automobile drivers a break of the concrete and steel. So a 32-acre parcel, half a mile back off the road is not candidate for that. So what we've done is we've eliminated that ability now on Jackson. So, unless Kiwanis protects their property.
Or if we say no to the offer.
Well, why are we going to offer it if we're going to say no?
What it is.
Okay.
Okay. Clerk Flintoff, let's do a roll call, please.
Yeaple?
Yes.
Flintoff? Yes. Brandt?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Riser?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Murphy.
Thank you, Murphy.
Okay, so, wait a minute, we're
And I
doing it.
assume we'll have follow-up from our project manager for Christie on the next class.
Yes.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 05, that's what, okay, I scribbled. All right, 05, possible action, I guess discussion and vote to fill the vacant operations director position. Aurora Northrup, our HR manager? Okay, stop changing names, still learning. Okay, hi.
Patsy Moore is also here from MML.
Sure, come up, Patsy. Thank you.
Patsy. I just want to thank Aurora and Patsy for all your work and the whole board. I know we've had several meetings on this, and there's been a lot of process. I also want to thank both the candidates, well, all of the candidates, all of the applicants, because it's a ton of work to put yourself out there like that for a rigorous process. I think it's been a really good process, and I've definitely benefited from all of the background information that we've received from you, Patsy, from the one-on-one conversations, from the interviews, from the writing samples, resumes, everything. So thank you for all of the work. I feel like we have a lot of good information, a good basis to make our decision between two well-vetted finalists. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I can give a bit of a background that's in the agenda item, and then if there's any questions. But basically, through the executive search contract that was initially approved by the Board of Trustees, we received 30 applicants at the end of last year, November and December, for this position. There were 7 strong candidates from this list. 5 had indicated that they wanted to continue the hiring process. 2 candidates ended up withdrawing from the process after the special meetings were scheduled, but before the interviews, which left 3 candidates in attendance at either the special meeting we had March 16th or March 19th. And then 2 final candidates have been selected for consideration, as indicated, Christina Laszlo and Nathaniel Clark.
I'd be prepared to make a motion,
Well,
unless you have something else to discuss.
okay, so, all right, and we're going to do one or both of them?
Wait to hear what Brian said.
Well, we have a motion in front of us, so that's
Yep.
what I'm
So,
clarifying.
so the motion I make is to direct MML to propose a conditional job offer contingent upon successful completion of a background check to candidate Nathaniel Clark.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay, motion by Yeaple, support by Reed, to direct MML to propose a conditional job offer contingent upon successful completion of a background check to candidate Nathaniel Clark. Roll call. Yeaple?
Yes.
Flintoff? Yes. Brandt?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Riser?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Nathaniel.
Yeah, thank you.
And so next steps, process-wise and timeline?
First of all, thank you for trusting MML with this process. It's a pleasure to work with all of you and ending up at this point. The process from here on out, I will work with the board. We will issue that conditional offer to Mr. Clark. At that time, we will begin a full background check. That background check usually takes about 2 weeks to complete. At the end of that background check, we will let you know the results of that background check, and then it will become a township process at that point.
So process-wise, what would you expect to have for us at our, potentially by our next meeting? I guess Aurora and Patsy just kind of confirm, well, we'll hear an update by then, and I would hope the person might be able to start soon thereafter.
So I could give an update regarding the status of the background check. Since it's
Okay.
about 2 weeks, it may or may not be quite completed.
I would not count on it
Okay.
being at your next meeting. It usually takes at least 2 weeks to get all of it done.
I do want to say that I plan on voting yes to both of them because I had a hard time choosing. They were both phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I
thank
would
you.
like to comment on that too. I mean, they were both excellent and exceptional candidates.
So maybe in the future we'll have another job opening. Therefore, maybe in a different.
So I would like to comment also.
Yep, sure.
I would like to thank Aurora Northrop and Patsy from MML. The key for me was the additional opportunity we had for interviews. That made the difference for me, and I appreciate your giving us that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you both for all your hard work.
Have a good evening.
Okay, never mind.
That was easier than I thought it would be. I mean, kind of. Yeah. Yes, I know. N1. Okay, here, we're back to Trustee Reiser. Hire a consultant to assess and report on board and employee relations.
The background speaks for itself. This was discussed on March. About a month ago, we considered this. Actually, we've got the minutes attached. But so this is something that I think would help us as a board, would help our incoming operations director to have this information. I have it as an outside law firm, but I concede it could just as well be a consulting firm that's well-versed, experienced in this type of work. The reason I had it as a law firm, and maybe it's institutional bias on my part, but I know that when a law firm does an investigation, the things that are said to that attorney in the development of their report is work product. And I think that work product gives me a little more higher comfort level, puts me more at ease to talk frankly about a fellow board member and what they are doing that should be changed or that I think contributes to some of our disharmony, and them clearance coverage to talk about what I do that needs to be changed, and our employees who talk to that person. To the extent that we can provide as much anonymity, I think we get candid input. So that's why I have it as a law firm. That would be my preference. That's why I wrote the motion. I know Ian Hubert brought put forward a firm that could do this, and there are other firms that could do this too. So I think the first thing is, do we want to do this? And I hope we do. The second thing is, do we want it to be a law firm or consultant firm? And the third thing, I think, is what should the scope be and the work product? That's kind of my take on it. And I've set forth in my motion in the scope that I think would be proper. Supervisor Carey, I don't know if you want to hear from others how they feel about this in general and or the specifics, or if we need a motion on the floor to get that discussion going.
I think we should keep discussing. Sure. Trustee Reed?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could start at the other end.
Originally, no, that's fine. I just had to stand. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand.
I feel I'm concerned about the aura of a law firm, almost the specter of a law firm. I think it would be better with a consulting firm, but I would bow to our township attorney to say how much of their work product can be kept from a FOIA request, if it's a law firm versus a consulting firm.
Well, I was thinking, and I forgot to look into this further, but what if the report came to your attorney, and your attorney then released it?
And that's what we did at the last round of consulting, when we paid $5,000 for a facilitator. That was through our attorney, and the board got no report. So I think that's also not valuable, the flip side.
The board got no report?
No report. Correct, and so that's the flip side, which is, I mean, I just think
that was
more information is better.
That was
We
a
want to make
completely
change.
different thing, though, right?
Yes,
Like,
right.
I don't want to confuse these two.
Yeah, we could say kind of what the work product is.
Yeah, the whole idea behind this would be a report, and I don't know that was the idea previously.
So, if I may, you didn't answer my question.
I think that if do you agree, John, that if the report came to the attorney and then we could release it, it would have the privilege?
So so even though the last report that came to you, you didn't release, this one could be released.
So I think
the other was totally there wasn't really a
we would direct
there wasn't really a report.
We would direct our attorney to work with this consulting firm, and the attorney would provide a report. I think that might be what she's getting at, and if she is, I could certainly live with that.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good compromise to get I mean, I know I really like Ian's recommendation. I know, Washington Community College stopped by and happened to give us a flyer about this stuff, and there's different firms that do this, but what I'd like to see is some meaningful recommendations on kind of what changes to make, like policy, training, whatever it is, and I just don't think a law firm has those skills. I also think it should be more of kind of an assessment, not an investigation. If there's something criminal going on, then we should do an investigation.
I think we did change it to assessment.
We did.
Yeah, but assessment, but I like the idea, whatever arrangement makes sense, but if there's a qualified professional firm who worked through the attorney. If that gets you, because I understand what you're looking for, John.
That captures the essence of what I want. If we
Okay.
need a motion to direct our township attorney to contract a experienced, suitable consulting firm to assess the relationship, and for the township attorney to deliver a report to the Board of Trustees, I would so move that after appropriate discussion.
And I would support it.
Trustee Brandt?
Yes. Have we changed the rules that I only get to speak once? I thought you said that earlier.
No, we all get to speak once, and if we have anything new to
Okay.
request. But there's
All right, because
My apologies if I spoke over you.
I'm not
your
saying
agenda item.
anything about what you did, John. Yeah, I have comments about the scope here, which I will save for later. I recently, independent of Washtenaw Community College coming, I found this program that they run. I found it through their, let's give John one, through their mailing, and I consulted with the program leads on this today. I would suggest that we consider using Washtenaw Community College. They have developed a program. They rolled it out to Saline. It focuses on 3 main topics: conflict resolution, effective communication, team building. There's been plenty of dialogue here about the interactions with the board. I think this program is intended to address that. The cost is $3,600. I got this off their webpage. That's a mistake. The mailing they send out is correct. It's $3,600. I think this is something that we should consider. I did discuss, it's a 6-hour program. Would this be a day-long 6-hour thing? And they said no. They would utilize various faculty for these various topics, and they would recommend that it's broken down into 2-hour slots. I would suggest that we do this in a public meeting so that all the stakeholders can follow the progress. This is something that could be implemented fairly quickly. It's clearly very affordable. I'm not suggesting that this would be the only action that we might take, but I might suggest that this could be a starting point. What's nice about this is that they've already developed the program. They have been rolling it out. They're confident in it. We could easily schedule this, I'm assuming, in the evenings when Trustee Reiser would not be imposed for his day job. And the way they've detailed this actually does clearly define a scope of work, which, I'm sorry, John, yours does not include a scope of work. I gave you my agenda item that had a clear scope of work that could have gone into contract language, and you didn't choose to use any of that. So I would suggest that you folks look at this. I'm willing to bring a fully developed agenda item for our next meeting to consider implementing this. Or if you're so inclined, I'm prepared to make a motion today.
Treasurer Depot? Oh, are you?
Yep.
You may go. Treasurer Depot.
Oh, thank you. I would support this. I agree with Trustee Brandt. I think this is a good step in the process. I think, well, there may very well be other things that we do, but I think this would be a good process to undertake.
Thank you for this, and I think this would be a second step. I strongly feel that this assessment needs to happen so we can get to the nitty-gritty, the bottom, and find out what is exactly going on around here. And if you remember, during our very first work session, it was I don't remember if it was on a Saturday. Actually, it was Trustee Brandt's idea to do this, which was really great. We all had our 5 priorities, and my number 1 was a board retreat, because if we couldn't work together, we're never going to get these projects off the ground or whatever we want to do. So I am in favor of this. I have been from the beginning, but I think we're too far deep, and I really feel that our staff, our board, we need to have an assessment. And if I remember correctly, just something recently, there was an agenda item to investigate the supervisor. So if that was presented to the board or to board members, because I heard of it secondhand, then we should.
Kathy hasn't talked
Yeah, I
yet.
haven't talked yet.
Do you want to?
Oh, you have?
I have. I have a second comment, but Kathy hasn't spoken yet.
As long as we have something, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you had already spoken. Go ahead.
I agree with Jillian. I think that I like John's proposal. I think we would need to narrow it a bit in scope, but I feel very strongly that we need to do something. And the events of the last 2 weeks have totally convinced me of that. So I would support both a law firm investigation with attorneys skilled at this type of investigation. And I use the term investigation loosely, assessment, with attorneys skilled with it. And I thought the firm proposed by John was such a firm. This was the same firm that had been proposed by Kathleen way back, I thought. And they have
No,
worked.
I did not propose. I
Oh,
wrote
okay.
an agenda item. I fully scoped it, timelines, everything. I shared that with John Reiser.
Was it this firm, Kathleen?
It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, that's what I said.
I did not propose.
Okay.
You said that
didn't
I put
propose
it on the table. I
Okay.
did not put it.
I think there's value in having a law firm involved, and some of them are skilled at doing the sort of assessment that we're looking for. I think that the issues in this organization are multidimensional and complicated. And I would say we need to start with a more intense kind of review, I think. And then down the road, this sort of community leadership training would be fine. I mean, I'm not opposed to this at all, but I just think we need something more intense than what this would give us for a first round.
You have something to add? Okay.
I do. Two things. One, I think it might be worth doing both, because this community leadership training, it does look really good. I like that looks like after their first program, they have these additional core modules: risk and policy management, delegation and accountability, strategic planning and time management. Like those are some of the areas where I think we could do deeper dives. When it says additional core modules, I would imagine those are supplementary
Yes.
activities,
Right.
After the first one. But I would support the $3,600, kind of program they have, and kind of trust them to kind of take us through the public process. As well, I would support John's earlier potential motion to direct the township attorney to contract with an experienced, suitable consulting firm to assess and report on the working relationships among Scio Township board and employees, and to report on recommendations for policy, training, or other changes. I think we need to do both of those things. I think that this is much more along the lines of kind of like core governance training and strategic planning. I think it's a great time with a new operations director to be involved in both of these. In terms of methods, I really think we should leave it up to the experts in terms of what methods, if it's going to be interviews and surveys and focus groups, what's public, what's not. I think there's wisdom in having our township attorney have the contract for the deeper assessment, so that they're, to John's point earlier, if for people, making sure that we can encourage frankness among the people who are participating.
I'm sorry, Supervisor Carey. Yep.
Trustee Brandt, did you say that you have a flyer or a brochure or something?
I have one.
No, this is it.
No, this is the,
This is it. What you got is it. Yeah.
oh,
And they
okay,
also
I thought
have-
maybe there was deeper into
On the
each
website.
subject.
No, I pulled this from their website.
Okay, all right.
They also
And
happen
I-
to have stopped by with a flyer.
Well,
It
this,
was just
which is the
timing.
same as this.
It's about the same.
I don't know
Okay.
what
Oh,
they dropped
okay.
off. I didn't see
Yeah, that was
that.
totally unrelated.
Treasurer Yeaple, do you have anything new to? No. Okay, Trustee Reiser.
I'm going to put a motion on the floor, and I think it captures what I want to do and some of the feedback that I've heard. I move that the Scio Township attorney be directed relationships and culture of the Scio Township Board and the board employee relationships. The township attorney would be directed to provide a report to the board that shall include recommendations to the entire board regarding how it could function more effectively and how to improve working relationships among the board and between the board and the Scio Township employees. Participation from Scio Township board members and employees shall be encouraged, and others in the opinion of the consultant. That's my motion.
Support.
What?
I have it written down, of course.
I supported it.
Yeah, she supported it.
Can I read that so I can understand it?
Yeah, I have one thing, but we,
So there's a
first-
motion and a second.
what, friendly amendment, or clarity, please. The township attorney would not be part of the assessment. Okay, I don't want you to be like, oh, you're on the spot to do this investigate or this assessment.
Mariah's never put on the spot.
I was gonna ask that same question though, and also it wouldn't be our
The
recommendations.
township attorney would be
Recommendations of the
directed to produce a report to the board.
Not necessarily our.
Well, that's a sentence.
Well,
Yeah, not our report, a report.
That's why I was just reading.
The consultants.
I think we're clear.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I can support this.
I think she's the
want-
conduit.
Okay.
She's the conduit.
Conduit.
I don't mean that disrespectful.
No, I like it.
Okay.
It just was a little lost, I wanted to be sure I
With-
understood.
Okay,
Yep, okay. Would report. Comfortable with that language?
How about the report prepared by our outside consultant?
I mean, I
So
think that's.
that would
Well, I think that's not what John is proposing.
It's not going to be her, it's going to be the consultant's report through her as I assume, as redacted as appropriate.
okay. If our township attorney is clear,
I think
Is
a
that gonna
report
take any more?
provides options, and I'm just being quite transparent about that, and that is what Kathy's concerned about. Kathy is saying the report, then, it is a report. It's not the report, so that is
I thought it
different.
was the report prepared by the outside consultant.
Well, if there's only one report, it becomes the report.
Okay.
Trustee Brandt has something to say, please.
Apologies.
Yeah, so I'm getting back to what I started to say when I asked if I had more than one opportunity. I'm going to ask the question, I think this agenda item is half-baked. So John, who's going to do this work? Who's going to figure out who the consultant is? Who's going to write the scope of work? Who's going to do the timeline?
Our township attorney.
It is?
I think the scope of work comes from the contractor.
Agreed. So that they can tell us how they want to approach it.
But you've said what it is that you're looking for.
They need to be able to say how they want to go about
Okay,
the work.
how do you pick the consultant?
Happy to bring a couple of names if that's what makes the most sense.
And we still have a procurement policy, so still we would need to approve whatever money is attached to a proposal.
Well, isn't that part of all of this though? Clark Hill, and I thought there was
It's not-
30,000?
Not in this current motion.
No.
that's
Not
on
in
the
this
table.
current, yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
an
that's okay.
appropriate consultant. I said appropriate consultant to give our township attorney the flexibility to hire who they think is appropriate to do this.
And I support this. I think it makes sense.
She's not gonna go to H&R Block.
Well, thank
Trustee
you.
Reed has, we're supposed to kind of, Trustee Reed.
So John, are you suggesting that Mariah could pick an attorney?
I'm suggesting she could pick an attorney, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Trustee Reed, please.
Well, now it seems to be out of context, because I had a comment about Kathleen's suggestion.
Well, this,
But I guess we can take care of this and deal with this.
Right.
Take care of the
We
motion
don't-
on the floor, we'll deal with this later.
this is
Yeah.
informational. They don't expect us to do it.
But I do like the idea of doing both.
I had a comment.
You have anything new to?
It'll be new.
Okay, go ahead.
I think if we go with a law firm as a consultant, it should be a law firm that is not in Washtenaw County.
Oh, that's a good point.
And I'll say, if we're going through our own law firm, we don't need an outside law firm. She's the law firm.
Wait a minute.
She's not gonna do the assessment, but she.
No, it's the conduit.
Kathy thinks you're still talking about hiring a law firm to do the assessment.
And I'm not. I'm directing you to file an appropriate consultant that's not likely to be a law firm, but I'm kind of leaving that to you. If you'd rather us make it be a non-law firm or consultant, that we can be more specific in that regard.
So it says an appropriate, yeah, it's open.
I think she knows what to do.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, well, but there's already this firm, and I'm assuming that somebody spoke with them, or is it just an idea that we could incorporate with?
I think this is a new motion on
I
the
understand
table.
that, I understand that,
The
but.
answer is, I did speak with the Marshall, great, the law firm, and if we would rather have a non-law firm do it and an HR firm, I was really going to leave that up to our own attorney to find that. I was going to trust them to find the right people group to do this.
What about the suggestion Ian made?
Well, yeah,
That is,
I'm open to
I think
that.
that's very likely.
I'd like to see more about that.
Well, I think with the motion on the table, just procedurally, with the motion on the table, I would imagine Mariah would come back with one or two proposals for us that says who and how much, if nothing else. I mean, but just because we can't just authorize a blank check.
I know, but John's motion did have some numbers. It was a cap of $30,000.
Right, but depending on the scope.
Okay,
It could be less, or.
I think we need more discussion on this.
And if this has to be, as much as I hate to say table it 2 weeks, or if this is sufficient direction for her to bring something back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to call the question.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But I want to make sure that our attorney's okay if this is something that she and her firm can live with.
I'm gonna come back in 2 weeks with some names and some numbers.
Okay, perfect.
all right, as long as we don't keep kicking this can down the road and never getting anywhere.
Nobody's doing that.
Both your regular township attorney and Jim and your employment attorney have recommended that you not use a law firm for this, that you use an HR firm.
Then it won't be a law firm.
So that's what I'll be looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've recommended that for a long time.
Okay, well then, this is news because, all right, let's go ahead, let's call the question, let's just.
Well, wait a minute. Do we have to vote on this then if that's what you're going to do?
Well, I'd like to give some clear direction. We keep hearing we want to move forward,
Right.
lamenting
Yeah, I do.
every breath
I
we
do.
take before we take a motion. So let's take a motion.
Let's take this, I think a motion was made, the question was called, it was supported.
And we can add 2 weeks. You know, if Mariah, I don't want to, you know,
I can do it in 2 weeks. Let's keep moving it forward.
Okay.
And I think the expectation would be that it would be something that would start basically immediately.
Yes.
right, with the operations director.
Could you read that again, please?
Yeah, I can. Motion by Riser, support by Flintoff, to direct the Scio Township attorney to work with an appropriate consultant to assess the working relationships and culture of the Scio Township Board and the board employee relationships, period. The township attorney would be directed to provide a report to the board that shall include recommendations to the entire board regarding how it could further,
Function, maybe?
thank you, how it could function more effectively, and how to improve working relationships among the board and between the board and Scio Township employees, period. Participation from Scio Township board members and employees shall be encouraged, and others in the opinion of the consultant, period. You ready for
An approved consultant, okay. Okay.
Yapel?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, did you want a roll call?
Yes, but, okay, to work with an approved consultant, but you're requesting.
Appropriate.
Appropriate consultant to assess, but that's not a direction to provide a list of names.
No, but that's how she's gonna accomplish that task. It sounds like.
All right.
What list of things?
Do you want to change the motion to say and return in 2 weeks with some
Yes.
options and
Oh.
some dollars?
Yes. I would take that as a friendly amendment as a seconder. John?
Of course.
Thank you.
And return in 2 weeks with names and numbers,
Recommended names, I think she said,
recommended names
and costs. And cost figures. Costs.
and costs. Okay, got it. Roll call.
Okay. Yes, roll call, please.
Yapel?
Yes.
Flintoff, yes. Brandt?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Riser?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Did you just say?
No, under my breath. It's a joke.
I-
Of course it is.
I would also say I like the WCC program. I don't want to lose track of that.
I can bring it to the next meeting as an agenda item.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, it's K3. Yes, K3, got it.
K3, what is K3? Dexter Senior Center contract.
Yeah, so I did request to pull this because I had a question. I am in agreement, or support, I should say, of the Dexter Senior Citizen Center. I've been involved with that, for trying to, have Scio Township provide public contributions even before I was on the board. Anyways, I looked into 101, 101, 959, and there is only $21,000 in that fund, and this is requesting $35,000. So I would like this model motion to include where that extra $14,000 would come from, please.
Yeah, I think, thanks for catching that. I think, Christy, it's actually in 101, 101-823.
I would have to double check, but I probably took what was last year's.
Yeah, we budgeted it in 823, contracted services. So 101, 101, it's the same fund and department, but it is the account 823.
Okay, so let's change it, and there's plenty of funds in there.
We budgeted for this expressly in the budget.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that this, have the, yeah, because when I saw only 21,000, and I knew that we budgeted, but, you know. Okay, that's all regarding this.
So this is K3, correct?
Yes, to approve the service contract and invoice for Dexter Senior Center, Incorporated DBA, Dexter Senior Center.
And I can confirm that, looking at 101, 101, 823, it is appropriately budgeted.
Great, thank you.
Has it been moved and supported?
Hasn't been moved yet.
Here,
I
well,
would move the model motion.
I'll support.
oh, you want
This is
to
for
read it?
K3.
No, I don't. It's in the packet.
Well,
With
but
the change.
With the change,
Oh,
yeah,
thank
it's
you.
a,
And it should be 65,000.
Oh, careful.
No, you're confusing with that.
okay, I'll read it. To approve the contract between Dexter Senior Center Incorporated and Scio Township for the period of January 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2027, and to approve payment of invoice number 4868 in the amount of $35,000 from FYE 27 Budget Fund 101-101-823, which just popped into my head. The January 1st, so it was last year that we were, because their fiscal year is from January 1st to December 31st, and we've been dealing with the inconsistency with our budget season, and I believe it was last year or the year before that we changed it so that it wouldn't be January 1st, it would begin April 1st to March 31st. And Dexter Senior Center was in agreement with that. Because I think that this overlaps the last year. So if we could change that to April 1st, 2026?
So it's also in the contract, though, at January 1st.
Yeah, that's not what we agreed last year, but moving forward because of the, well, okay, let's just,
Well, it looks like next year will start on April 1st.
yeah, we just need to keep track of that somehow. Because it's we're actually overlapping in years, or,
That's correct.
well,
I didn't negotiate this. Christie was responsible for it. Christie, did you have conversation with them about this point, January 1 or April 1?
No,
Okay.
Well-
But this is what they've approved for,
Mariah approved it.
yeah.
yeah, but it was last year when they were in front of us, and actually, I think it was Clerk Flintoff that brought up that issue. So we decided, and we talked with Dexter
Well,
Senior
Anna's
Center.
new too, so.
She was here last year.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was.
I mean, I don't think there's any
I mean, if you
harm.
don't want to approve it, I can have it changed and bring it back.
We could also change it to April 1 to March 31st. I don't know what the impact is on them. I think for us, it's better April 1 to March 31st because we're using FYE 27 monies. But again, I don't want to, nonprofits have kind of an elaborate way of, funding. I don't want to screw anything up for them.
No, you
personally.
just mentioned something that reminded me. So what we did last year, we were behind in paying that, or we didn't agree, but since we were in their fiscal year, we were able to provide those funds, but then we agreed that they would stick or stay with our fiscal year. So as soon as our fiscal year began, then we turned around and gave them another fund right away. And so that should cover all the way through March 31st of this year. But
Yeah, I just, because Anna's not here, in
Okay.
case they're considering this as a match for some other money or something, I just don't know enough
This,
about their
this
finances.
may have implications.
I don't want to screw anything
well,
up for them.
right, but it was
And they were, I think this year they asked for more money because.
it's
Yeah,
different.
more
though,
than the
but-
22, but.
Like, I wouldn't want to change it to April 1st when they're relying on this for some required match from another funder.
Okay,
For the
so-
January 1 to April 1 sort of thing.
Then let's go ahead and approve this, but I want to go back to last year and the reasons why you had suggested to change it. And then moving forward, we could, if you're still in agreement with your advice the last year, then we can change it or not. We talked about it in public, or here in the board meeting.
Call the question.
So, and by the way, this would also just be to offer this contract to them, right, Christie? If Anna has a problem with this, she can let us know.
I would assume so. I asked her
It was
to
her, it
provide
was us
it,
that
so-
brought that up. But anyways,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a motion by Carrie.
Yes, from the amendment, or the amended change was the 101, 101, 823. From, what was that, what did you call that?
Contracted
Contracted
services.
services. Okay, and there was support from,
I'll support.
oh,
Or riser, that's fine.
okay. Let's do a voice, or, yeah.
Voice, okay.
Yeah, voice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? This contract is approved along with the 35,000. All right, and the next is K16.
K6 and 7.
K16 is next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
16, then 6 and 7.
Okay, so K16, I requested to remove this because, oh, thank you.
Just
Sure.
in case.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah. So we had approved in our budget for this year, beginning April 1st, the 2%, or I'm not 2%, 2.5% salary increase. And this begins on April 18th. I know it's only 17 days, but I am strongly suggesting that we go back and begin on April 1st. And I understand that this would be work for the finance department, but this means a lot to our staff to have these increases, especially since the year before, only some got increases and others didn't.
You mean because we have the COLA policy?
Yeah, which we pushed off, you had to be here a year in order, and most of these staff members are, I think we only have one.
They did.
Eventually.
Later in the year. Yeah.
Once they reach that 1 year mark.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know, pennies doesn't matter to some people, but it does when you have kids to raise and mortgages to pay and gas costs.
I'll make a comment. I want to thank Aurora for bringing this to the table just as soon as the disposition of the union vote was done, which was as soon as possible. This was the very next meeting, so thank you. I also want to acknowledge it applies to everybody except those under a collective bargaining agreement, which is at this point in time just our firefighters, and certainly not to elected officials, and the rest is by policy. The annual increases is something we almost always do. Sometimes there are years that we don't. I would want to do them every year. I appreciate the policy work that the board did this year, moving from the COLA to the market-based increase to give kind of more regularity. Sometimes it's been April 1st, mid-April, May 1, mid-May. I would just suggest that we stick with April 18th. That's the first day of the next pay period. I do remember sitting at this board table once, having the bright idea of doing it retroactive to April 1st, and how many administrative problems I created for the finance team. Rebecca said, don't you ever do that again, Jessica, and so I'm keeping my promise to her. It may be pennies, but it then has a ripple effect on the defined contribution, on all of the various benefits and reporting that we do. So I would just simply state that the room for error that we will create, I know when we make errors on payroll, we invite grievances from our very attentive firefighters union, who I support. I will just say it is a lot of work, and I think April 18th is more than fair, is consistent with policy, and is a way to manage our own risk to avoid very avoidable mistakes that we would make if we tried to do it retroactively. Thank you.
Treasurer Yeaple.
Thank you. I agree with the comments by Clerk Flintoff. You know, I certainly understand and respect the idea of going retroactive to April 1st in order to honor, the beginning of the month. Unfortunately, due to the complexity of healthcare, HSA deductions, in addition to retirement deductions for multiple retirement plans, HCSP, MERS, defined contribution, defined benefit, it would make it extremely administratively complex. That doesn't mean, it is certainly not meant with any level of disrespect or not wanting to do so, but the start of a pay period makes the most sense from an administrative standpoint. Thank you.
Treasurer. You're the treasurer. You're a trustee, Riser.
There are obviously compelling arguments on both sides. You know, if April 1st is the date, then April 1st is the date. But I also appreciate how much work is involved. If someone has a salary of $60K, they get $1,500, and 17 days of that is $70. If somebody has $80,000, they get 2.5%. Then they get $93. It would be $93 over that period. So would there be some other way we could compensate, like maybe an extra day around the holidays, or an extra paid leave day, or some other benefit that we could incorporate to those in lieu of that 17-day lapse? They get something else that would be not a problem to effectuate, that we could consider and meet out down the road. That might not be perfect, but it's a compromise that works for the employee and it's easy for payroll.
I think so.
Yes.
They get to leave early by 10 minutes one day, or something appropriate.
Anyone else down there? No? Trustee no? Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Brandt, did you?
Yes, I would support the recommendation of Rebecca Monty.
Recommendation what?
From Rebecca Monty, our staff.
Who no longer works here.
Right, but she did the work.
And
it's valid.
And it was a well-meaning motion at the board table at the time as well, of course.
Trustee Reed?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Trustee no.
Yeah, and I've missed some of this discussion, I'm sorry. Just to recap it, I'm sorry. What the rationale for the proposal is what?
The board approved for our budget for the 2.5% increase. And this was before April 1st when we approved this.
Right.
So this should have gone into effect on April 1st, but now it's being brought to us on April 18th, even though we did direct HR manager.
There was a reason on that.
We did, to bring this back, yes.
Correct, we did.
Yes, we did. And however, we approved this for this budget year, so why wait when, April 1st is the budget year? And I know, it's only 17 days. Oh, it's only 17 days, but our staff, it's 17 days, which could mean, a 60,000 or 106,000, the 2%, 2.5%. So this is where, to retroactive to April 1st. Now, I am willing to hear another option so that they could have some type of 17-day benefit. I don't know what to call that, but I would like that to come to the board ASAP. So that's where.
So you're saying you would like to hear another, vacation days or something, option?
That was Trustee Reiser's recommendation.
HR director, HR manager to come up with some alternate compensation plan. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it might not be dollar for dollar, but like an extra day during the holidays, or I think that would be something that could be easy to administer, but I leave it to your discretion, you know, or 100, everybody gets $100 in their flex savings or something.
That we can't do.
No,
everybody doesn't have that.
Or something. I think you get the gist of what I'm suggesting. Okay.
I like the holiday one.
Yes.
That one would be the easiest.
And
the item before the board.
And I would just say too, for the future, if the board, you know, we've got appropriations and authorization are always two different steps. If the board wants to look at how we do this annual process to differently, then that is something we can look at with a revision of our own policies. And certainly there'll be no shortage of opportunity in union negotiations for these conversations as well.
Just a quick point of clarity. Are we semi-monthly or bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
We changed that.
Call a question, please, on a voice vote?
Yes. We need a motion on the table.
I'd move the model motion.
Support.
Well, and to direct, a friendly amendment to direct our HR manager.
I'd like to take these separately.
Yes.
Agreed.
Oh, okay, if you want them separate.
I just want to have them real clean.
Okay, that's fine. Could we do the other one first, please?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
So a model motion to,
I withdraw my motion.
okay, thank you.
Yeaple?
I withdraw my support with motion.
So where are we now?
Jillian's making what?
Jillian wants to make a motion.
To make,
To direct our HR manager for, what were your, proposal for some type of,
The approximate compensation.
yeah,
Approximate compensation of employees whose annual raise was delayed.
It wasn't delayed.
wasn't
I'm sorry.
delayed, it's factual.
I wouldn't say delayed, because that's not true. Okay.
I thank you, by the way.
Yep, just protecting us.
To,
We haven't even approved it.
Right.
No, we have to approve.
yeah, Jillian, can we, yeah, I would, well, if this is how we're gonna do it, I would, move that the HR manager, develop a recommendation on how to approximately compensate the impacted employees by 2.5%. In other words, it doesn't have to be exactly 2.5%. It could be something higher, something less, but something close. Like a day off with pay comes to mind, and that's not motion, that's just me blabbing, I'll shut up. But to the approximate compensation for the 17 days worth of salary.
right there, that last part.
Approximate
Make it
compensation
short
for
and
17 days
simple
of
and sweet.
2.5% raise.
Of wages
Yep, wages,
over 17 days,
yes.
or
For the 17 days.
May I say something before you guys finish?
yeah, please.
I just want to point out the fact that if she does this, there's a couple employees who will not get the benefit of what you're making the motion for.
Agreed.
And
I have a problem with that, and I'm not even on the board, but I want to share that.
We want to hear you.
Because of when you pass the motion for the raise, there will be some people in this building who are not getting that raise per policy.
Right.
Now, if she brings something back and say, I don't know how many people are in the building, but whatever, say 25, maybe 4 of those won't qualify because of the, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Correct.
but they're not going to qualify.
And I'm not
I
saying-
understand, but I'm just saying,
No, I'm not
if
trying
it's
to-
a day off or something
I'm
large,
not trying to.
I don't want to see other people not benefit
People are
from
just gonna
that.
get their
That's all I'm
feelings
saying.
I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
that's a
produce
good
a
point.
windfall for someone who's not entitled.
That's a good
Right.
point. It's going to create more.
I'm not opposed. Aurora, we'll just figure out something that makes sense to bring back to the board.
And if I can also add, it's 13 days. It's 13 work days, not 17.
Well-
It's 13 work days. I know, but we're
But
going
it
to have to be,
matters.
yes.
We
we're
don't
going to have to
compensate
be
people on the
specific.
weekends. and-
Yeah, and I would just say, this is our policy that we're following, so I just want to say, I appreciate we can put multiple motions on the table here, but if what we want to change for the future is our policy, we should change our policy and not try to do it when we're implementing policy.
I agree
It's
with
just a
that.
lot.
However, in the past, it wasn't 2.5%, whatever it was, began on April 1st.
Not always, no, it
Or-
never did by policy, never by policy.
It was, but it's traditional.
No, not always.
Yeah.
It's
I-
May 1, May 15, sometimes April 1st. I think we got it together by April 1st once. 2020, it was 0. And I'm just saying, we can change the policy, Jillian, but this is our current policy.
A current policy to begin whenever we begin, providing the
It's
2.5 for the
It's
increase.
discretionary and if and when is at the discretion of the board. Is our
Well-
current policy that we all unanimously passed.
And
So we just
maybe
need to own it.
Yeah, and I'm sure then hopefully well,
But where are we at? We've got
Well,
a
okay.
motion to direct the HR manager. I think we're close.
To
provide,
bring back a recommendation, or we could say proposal, to compensate employees that would otherwise have been entitled, employees who would be entitled to their annual raise with something for the delay from April 1st until April 18th.
I don't like that word entitled.
There's no entitlement, there's no delay.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
For a number of days, X number of days.
yeah.
I thought it was 13 days.
Yeah, for 13.
We all know what we're trying to capture.
Yeah, maybe we could just give kind of general recommendation. I
Yes.
think Aurora's clear.
Yep, I agree. I don't know that we need a separate motion.
I'm just concerned about getting so
Who-
much
oh.
specificity and getting it wrong.
who are qualified,
Eligible.
eligible for. There you go, thank you.
Or impacted employees, whatever, you know what I'm getting.
So I would make maybe just a motion to direct our HR manager to return to the board with a proposal to address the issues we've just discussed.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Agree with that.
Okay.
Is there support? Or do you
Support.
want a
Support by
motion?
Reiser.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Everybody's here, right? Okay,
And then I'd
so
make
that
a
motion passes.
motion, the model motion,
Support.
as written.
Should we read it out loud?
No.
I will, yeah, sure. No, it's by the demand of any member, we read it out
But
loud.
she's not demanding it.
Are you demanding it?
No, I just was
You can, it's our
asking,
rules.
go ahead, read it, because I think you want to.
No, I can't. No, I'm just saying, it's part of our rules, if anybody
Okay,
wants it
sure,
read out
just
loud.
go ahead, it's not that long.
To authorize effective April 18th, 2026, a market increase to salary ranges by 2.5% in wages only, to the step nearest the current step wage the employee is on, to all regular full-time employees and all temporary employees with regularly scheduled shifts, except for those employees entitled to annual increases under a collective bargaining agreement. This increase is not applicable to on-call or other incentive pay. Once employees complete their 90-day introductory period and the board approves completion of this period and a 6-month employment period, the step wage increase will be applied. This increase shall not be awarded to elected officials and does not apply to employees subject to Section 44 Performance Management and Salary Evaluation Policy Salary Reviews, which states that market-based compensation adjustment does not apply to an employee at maximum pay, parentheses, red circled, period.
Support.
Okay. Yes, and the more I think about this, we should be reading these motions out loud because Cheryl, for our minutes.
She has all this, yeah.
Okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
Aurora.
Thanks,
Drive
Aurora.
safely.
Good night.
Okay, so case 6, this is the resolution to request appropriation expenditure of DDA return funds, Dexter Senior Center, and Treasurer April, could you please, this is your, prepared by you.
I moved the model motion. You were the one that pulled it from consent, so I'm open to questions.
Yeah, so I thought about this. In fact, when I was at the State of the County, I did ask, well, Jason Morgan, who used to be on the county, he was the chair of the county commissioners, and now he is a state representative, and we were just, as we're walking in, because we just saw each other at the Superfund meeting, and I mentioned this about the DDA, and everybody knows that we dissolved the DDA, so he had insights on that, and I mentioned about requesting the 100,000. I don't know if I said the 100,000, but the amount from the DDA or from Washtenaw County regarding these funds, and he basically said, well, you made your bed, and to come back, he just kind of was like, wow, now you're asking for this. So it's just, I don't understand. Number one, the Dexter Senior Center is not in the DDA, never was, and I understand that this is money that isn't part of the DDA anymore, but we did dissolve the DDA, and it just seems. And I am in full support of the Dexter Senior Center, and I was in full support of keeping the DDA. But here we are. It's almost as if we're looking back and going, "Oh my God, we made a big mistake." And in my opinion, we did. I just feel that this is, to go back to the county and say, "Hey, we want this money," is just. I just don't know. I was kind of shocked to see both of these. The transit makes more sense to me because we could have the bus 30 and the transit does. That's right through the DDA. The boundaries of that. And I'm still on the fence about even asking the county for that. Anyways, yes, I heard you. But I think we have other people that need to have something to say. Clerk Flintoff?
So I just want to clarify, the $1.8 million that we will be sending back to the county is county money to use as they will. It is now freed up. We're no longer capturing it. It's going back to where voters directed it to go, which was to the county. $1.8 million to the county, to WCC, to WISD, to all of the units. As part of year-end close, we're doing that. I think it's a great idea, Ryan. You mentioned it at a couple of meetings. We're giving the county back $1.8 million. We certainly got an enthusiastic response to that news when we sent the letter back then. And I think that it's just good advocacy as a township to go to our county and say, of the $1.8 million we're giving back, would you consider appropriating it and expending it on some Scio priorities? How often do we actually have a meaningful voice at the table at the county? Not very often. So I think it's a really smart opportunity. I think it's a really good idea, and I thank you for preparing these.
Who's the smart voice at the county?
I said I don't think I said a smart voice at the county. If I did, I misspoke. I said we don't normally have a voice at the county. We don't normally as Scio have a voice at the county. We don't normally have somebody really advocating for Scio Township priorities at the county.
So,
and who?
And I'm not talking about a person. I'm saying we're not usually very good at advocating for ourselves at the county. Yep. And this is good advocacy. So thank you.
The advantage, what I like about this is that the Dexter Senior Center is a great organization, and it serves Scio in Dexter City, in Dexter Township, and Augusta Township, and maybe they service Chelsea or other townships as well. So that has some county appeal. Whether $100,000 is too much, they can give what they want to give. So
Correct.
I'm going to support both of these for different reasons. That you've got broader support, I think, for the senior center because it's a lot of people. And then the other one I'm going to support because Ann Arbor, that AATA takes people from Ann Arbor to Scio. So that's an Ann Arbor thing too, because that bus goes to the Blake Transit. So people go from Scio into Ann Arbor, or Ann Arbor, they live in Ann Arbor and they go to Scio for work and shopping or whatever. So they both have merit. The question I have is, have you done anything to, the only, Jason Majewski and Katie Scott, who represents Scio as well, it sounds like those two are going to have to do the heavy lifting, and I'm wondering if you've had conversations with them to whip their votes or to impress upon them that this is something that's important to Scio Township and West Side voters.
Well,
Ryan, that's a question for Ryan.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm happy to respond to that. It would be premature without board authorization on both of these items to talk to those individuals.
Okay.
I did have a meeting with Anna specifically from the Dexter Senior Center because I didn't want this to harm her organization in the way that it may be funded from the county millage dollars. I didn't know that if this request was made from our board, if it would somehow reduce her allocation or otherwise cause problems. She confirmed to me that it would not. And that she was, enthusiastically supporting, and she is willing to help, I guess, to answer your question, whip the vote to a certain extent. She has relationships with several of the commissioners. I have some relationships with some of the commissioners, and if this is something that the board ultimately approves tonight, I do plan on, contacting both Katie Scott, who's commissioner for where I live in Scio Township, as well as Jason. And reaching out to them and supporting. And to Kirk Flintoff's point, about advocacy, a lot of us individually, have a lot of really good relationships with our state legislators, whether they be House or Senate members, And that's my goal here, is to work relationships to benefit, obviously, Scio and the county. So, and ultimately, I'm happy to hear the support. I appreciate Supervisor Carey's, feedback, but, I'm doing this to support these two causes because it seemed worthwhile, and I hope I have enough broad board support to move forward. Thanks.
Trustee Noel, sorry.
I'm going to support this, but we should all keep in mind that the county can just ignore the request. Sure.
They certainly could.
Yep. So nothing may happen with this.
Right, but I like that we're trying.
Yeah.
We don't normally do that much. I mean, quite honestly.
Anyone else at the end of the table?
I appreciate Treasurer Yapel bringing this forward. It's a brilliant idea, and I'm sure he will try his best.
Thank you.
And I appreciate all those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan, for doing this. Hopefully it will bear some fruit.
I'd like a roll call vote.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I think we've really created a mess for ourselves with the dissolution of the DDA, and we had funds that we could have used moving forward with our bus and transit and, trash along Jackson Road. There's so many things we could have done, and we could have just revised that ordinance or whatever, and we still have water and sewer and roads to take care of. So here we are with this. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Anyway, we have a motion, we have support, and let's do a roll call vote.
Yapel?
Yes.
Flintoff? Yes. Brandt?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Riser?
Yeah.
Carey?
No.
Motion passes 6-1.
And that was for K6.
For K6,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, let's just move right on to K7. I don't, unless somebody has a comment
I move
or.
the amount of money.
Support.
Okay, motion by Riser, support by Reed. I'd like a roll call vote. Yeaple?
Yes.
Flintoff, yes. Brandt?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Riser?
Yes.
Carrie?
No.
Motion passes 6-1.
Okay. And we do have a lot of funds that we could be using.
What's next on the agenda?
06. 06.
Closed
Oh,
session?
Yep.
kidding me.
Yep.
I would like to make a motion to move into closed session to discuss the purchase of land or lease of real property as permitted by MCL 15.2681D. Motion by Flintoff, support by Riser. This will require 2/3 majority of those elected and serving. Yeaple?
Yes.
Flintoff, yes. Brandt?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Riser?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We are now in closed session at 9:24 p.m. The board will move into the other room.
One thing, there's just an announcement, there's a tornado watch that was announced, so just beware of that.
Yeah, there is a tornado watch, not a warning, but a tornado watch in effect.
An alert just came through.
Are we like to
Recording stopped.
Hold on.
Okay, I got the girls all lined up.
Justin, you gonna make a motion?
Yep. I'm happy after we come back to open session.
Recording in progress.
Okay, is there a motion to
I move we go back into open session.
support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, and Clerk Flintoff, do you have a motion? Create a motion or whatever you're going to do.
Sure, I'd like to make a motion to direct our township attorney to proceed as discussed in closed session.
I'll support that.
Support, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I rarely get time, or get a
My
support, so. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, so now is the time for public, right? We're at the end.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Right, yeah.
This is the time for public, or for the, this is public comments. This is time for members of the public to speak to the Board of Trustees for up to 5 minutes on any matter, and we begin with anyone present. Hello.
Hello, Carolyn Altamar, Scio resident. I was listening with interest to your discussion on the proposal from Trustee Reeds and Riser. And I just wanted to say, repeat the saying, don't let progress get in the way of done. I think that you guys need a profound deep dive. And and obviously you came about it. The WCC, I think, is a great program, but I think by itself is probably not enough. I think that somebody, I can't remember who made a comment, a leadership development firm that would gather info, make recommendations, and have follow-up would be kind of like a one-stop shop. You get all in one thing. So rather than attorneys and then workshops and that kind of thing, seems to me, wait a minute, did you bring some for everybody? Sorry. I'm just like, but please go into the process with an open mind and heart. We residents really, really want to get this right, and we'll be watching. I wanted to say that I fully support Supervisor Carey's about the DDA. I think it was a big mistake to get rid of the DDA, and I think that we're going to reap the benefits from that. That was a very unfortunate decision. And I'm really happy that you guys chose Nathaniel Clark. I don't know the background and stuff, but from what I saw with both interviews, I think you guys made absolutely the right choice. So kudos on that. Good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline.
Anyone else present would like to speak? Okay, Christie.
All right, let's see. First up, we have Rob and Joe Pattinson. I don't know, it's got a different name on it, but go ahead, Rob. Oh. Hello?
Is the, is it
yeah.
unmuted?
I can see him toggling the mute on and off.
Is there, the microphones on in Zoom or through the Zoom application? That happened at last left.
No, maybe, there, you're unmuted.
I don't know, we had other speakers.
Oh, wait, is that us at the bottom?
That's us talking.
Oh,
Yeah, it's our closed captioning.
So I don't know what to say.
We could come back to Rob.
Yeah, but there's nobody on. Oh, okay. All right, Rob, we'll come back to you. I don't know, there's something going on. Sorry about that. We'll try again in a minute. Anna, go ahead.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
This is Anna Peckrell. I just first wanted to say how I've been listening since I left. I'm sorry I couldn't stay in person, but just how filled with gratitude I am to each and every one of you. First, Jillian, I first wanted to apologize for the dates on the agreement. That is my fault. I was very new last year and I was confused about the two payments that came very close together. And so when I put the agreement together for this fiscal year 2027, I looked back at the last agreement I had sent and just updated the dates. I wasn't thinking clearly. But so I apologize for that. Thank you for bringing it up. I also just wanted to thank you, Jillian, for bringing Dexter Senior Center to the table. As you had mentioned, years ago, you've been in support of us for a very long time, and so we're very grateful for that. And to all of you for, jumping on to also support us. As Ryan mentioned regarding the DDA funds, I also attended the State of the County event last night and have already, kind of briefly mentioned to some of the commissioners that I may be looking to have a meeting with them soon. And so Ryan and I will be working on that afterwards here. But I'm kind of not thinking clearly with my words because I'm just so grateful to this township and for taking action to support a senior center. For so many years, senior centers really never receive any attention in the grant world and just day-to-day conversation. And so it's just so exciting to me to see a group of elected officials taking what we do seriously and seeing the benefit of it. And so I just am very thankful to all of you.
Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Anna. All right, let's see here. I'm going to try Rob again. Rob, go ahead and unmute and see if we can connect here. Yeah, we can't hear you, Rob.
He's unmuted. Looks like.
I don't know what's happening.
Should we log off and log on? Or how does it-
I don't, he knows that, he knows there's a problem, so. Let's try Mark. Altamore, Mark.
All right, am I unmuted?
Yep. Hi, Mark. Mark, go ahead, we can hear you.
Thank you. New tablet, so I wasn't sure. This is on the topic of the employee relations initiative. I think the idea of the WCC program is a really good one, but it's not the solution for the issue at hand. That's like most people said, something to do down the road when things are going forward and everyone seems to be in the same direction, and that's a good program, but not not what is needed now. My only concern is that we're paying an attorney to do a search for a solution that the board has been working on for weeks. I'm a little disappointed that the board couldn't figure out how to get a firm or an HR or some personnel or company to do this without involving our attorneys, and then putting the attorneys in between the report from the consultant. I wasn't sure how that ended up. There was a lot of discussion there. Hopefully the consultant determines the scope. They get it approved beforehand, but they're also allowed to follow whatever direction the assessment takes. So that scope is somewhat defined to make you all feel comfortable, but not limited beforehand to prevent certain direction and certain inquiry. One suggestion, you potentially got a new ops director coming in, seemed like a pretty capable individual. I saw his interview. He talked a lot about getting input and doing community programs and so forth and so on. You might want to consider, rather than paying our attorney to do a search, to give it to the new director of ops. I know he's probably going to have a lot of things on his plate, but that seems like a real natural fit for that candidate, and he'd already be on the payroll. So, just a suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. Christine, what else?
We're gonna try Rob again. He's logged out and logged back in. Rob? Rob? Aw.
And who was it earlier that had an issue?
Yeah, Rob, if you can hear us, if you could email your comments, that would be great. He says he's speaking, but we can't hear you.
him. Yeah.
He said will do.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been texting him to let him know.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rob, just email us if you would, or the board. Thank you.
Anyone else?
There are no other hands
Okay.
raised.
Well, yeah, one thing. Anna, I don't know if you're still on. Regarding the contract, we need to sign this, but if you could just change the from the term, and then initial that, and then send it over. Then we'll sign it, of course. But yeah, thank you for verifying. Okay.
For David's motion.
Oh, wait, anybody else have comments?
Just one
Clerk, can talk. Yeah.
Just quick comment. In addition to the tornado watch, I just want to, I just got another alert too. It looks like a few hours ago, Mayor Taylor put out an alert that ice activity with guns drawn, multiple cars in Ann Arbor. I don't know if it was earlier today.
This morning around 8
This morning, but in any case, I just want to thank our operations manager and township attorney for, I think it was 6 or 9 months ago, issuing an informative memo to staff about how to interact with federal agents. And I just want to suggest that perhaps there be a little bit more of a training, particularly if some of our staff in the field witness things and what to do.
Maybe Christy can send that out again.
I gotta go.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll take care of it, Chris.
Yep.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay.
Christie?
It's mine. Okay. That's okay. Any other board? Trustee Reed, go ahead, get it out. Okay. Oh, okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I thought you. Oh, yes, at 9:55, we're adjourned. Yeah, because it'll be our province. I have a theory what's going to happen.
When you're not going to do Oh, and you gotta keep the doors shut around here.
Like there's all this.